know, which teach them the #1 intellectual blogging panel on the YouTube channel.
Good night, everyone. Let me know if you are seeing me clearly. Let me know if you're hearing me clearly. If you're seeing and hearing me clearly, welcome to another episode of Extra Class, episode number 244. I trust that everybody is okay. For all the persons who are seeing my face and in the hearing of my voice, I trust that you're healthy. You, along with your family members, for the persons who unfortunately have to be at work at this time, I trust that your shift will end soon and you'll get a chance to get home to your family where you'll be in a safe place. For all the persons who are out on the road, I trust that you'll get home safely. Oh, they must say wrong mic. Man, a wrong mic that for true, you know. Zane, turn up the sound. When I hear me not say over back what I say already, you know. So when I hear that still, then I have to go wait till Sunday, you know. But me I say for all those persons now who are home, who are ready to listen to teach about some things that affect Jam Down, Jamrock, Jamaica land we love. Land of Food and Water, Bob Marley, you seen both Vybz Kartel, Buju Banton, Shelly and Fraser Price, Elaine Thompson, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and some weak fences. Peeps, big up on yourself. Good night. But there, please share the stream. Please, on your social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram story, WhatsApp status, all of them something there. Big up on yourself. Zane. Live not even start and them dislike it. Team member, everything good, man. Don't worry about that people there. You understand me? I say, peeps, good night. We're here. We soon circle. But before we do that, a word from the sponsors. So forward.
Are you looking for the smartest way to buying, selling, and searching for a huge range of products? Introducing Island Sales, a simple and safe place to browse your items. Shop the latest and trending branded items for your needs. With Island, you can find what you are looking for easily. Save your time and enjoy your items. Sell anything in just a few clicks. Chat instantly with buyers and sellers. Get the best deals. Customer support at any time. Download Island Sales today.
Kaboom! Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them. You know, it's teach them the #1 intellectual blogging panel on the YouTube channel. Hey, yo, hello. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification button. Hey, yo, we always up to something. Teach them. Hey, yo, hello. Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here. Warlord representing.
Yeah, peeps. We're there, yeah. Mama and Papa. Peeps, good night. I know some people when I normally go forward tonight because apparently them feel like they were talking about Vybz Kartel. Make we see how that gonna Zane. But big up to the regular people them. If you're here for the first time with a curiosity in terms of wanting to know the type of work with the welcome. You understand what I mean? I say if you're just here tonight for that particular story, then relax. You understand? Because we don't so far we talk about that. If we talk about that anyways. And not really as important as you then think. Well, not to me anyway, so I'm going to just tell her that straight up. Peeps, ready here now. The COVID fight continues. You understand what I say? The struggle is real. There have now been 30 confirmed cases and other test results are yet to come in. So it means that not so long from now, the numbers may rise. And the reality is that an increase is inevitable. It's just that how far it will rise, how many persons will become infected and them something there. So we're there. We're going to talk about that. There was a press conference that I had watched for. It's quite a long press conference. So I watched it just before it finished, just before the stream started and stuff. So we're going to share bits and pieces of that. May I try share out the stream and thing. See? So no know go. We work. Hold on there. Yeah. So WhatsApp group. I'm gonna see them over here, you know, some of them anyways. You understand me? I say, peace, big up on yourself. Juno Gully, what go on? No things, family. See? Kerry J, good evening. So I could get to the thing. You know, I'll share the press conference. I'll try to fast forward it and watch only the pieces that are, you know what I mean, important. So Jamaica now has 30 confirmed COVID-19 cases. Prime Minister Andrew Holness earlier announced that Jamaica now has an additional 4 COVID-19 cases. This means there are now 30 cases on the island. The new cases are, and this is very worrying in terms of the age, an 87-year-old female from Manchester with a travel history that includes New York. That is very rough in terms of her age, knowing how compromised her immune system may be at this point in time. So hopefully grandma is able to pull through. 51-year-old male from St. Catherine with a travel history that includes New York. 52-year-old male with no travel history but a close contact to the husband of a visitor from Canada. Kind of lost them. 56, I guess the Prime Minister will explain that further. 56-year-old male from Manchester with no travel history but was in contact with tourists from several countries. And the quarantine period for 7 and 8 miles in Bull Bay will end tomorrow night, midnight I think. However, medical surveillance by the public health team will continue. Yeah. So I'll share the press conference in a few, but more and get through some stuff before we get to that still. Anting. You know what I think? Yeah, man. If nobody sees, nobody, Cindy, you know what I think? Everything good, bad. You understand? Everybody have to be something in a life. Divine Diva Mel, how are you? I remember seeing Mel in the stream ever. You understand me? I say, Mel, big up yourself. It's good to see you. You understand? There have been instances, there have been cases, there have been complaints in relation to the fact that some wholesales and shop operators have been taking the national crisis. But Mel, me I tell you what me see, or if you tell me what me see. You understand me? I say, Zin has taken the national crisis as an opportunity to be, I don't even know what them being still, but we call them price gougers. Yeah, so price gougers put on notice of intent by the government trade order. So price gougers nationally have been put on notice that they could be slapped with a hefty fine or be imprisoned for up to 2 years. This, as a House of Representatives on Tuesday, responded to retailers who have been hiking prices amidst the coronavirus pandemic by approving a resolution aimed at curtailing the practice. The resolution was brought by State Minister in the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, Floyd Green, the man who I think should be Minister of Education, but them have more about farming over there, so still. Bright youths, he will probably help them over there. It is to regulate the sale of goods during the period of a declaration of a disaster area and should come into force on the 31st of March. Prices of these items would have already entailed a profit margin, and as such, for the disaster area order and time period, we are saying that the retailers have to maintain those prices, Green stated during his presentation. So the order, which is a trade and sales of goods during the period of declaration of a disaster area order 2020, details that no person whose business includes a retail sale of goods shall sell any necessary goods to another person at a price higher than the price charged immediately before the coming into force of the Disaster Risk Management Declaration. So under the order, the Consumer Affairs Commission has been authorized to demand on behalf of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Agriculture and Fisheries, books, accounts, or other documents relating to the business to investigate claims of price gouging. Why may I tell us that people are using? We meticulously reviewed our current legislative framework to identify the most effective approach to price gouging and the enforcement of penalties in a timely manner. This isn't an issue that can be delayed, as people are experiencing it now, and we can't allow that, Green stated. So price gouging occurs when a seller increases the price of goods, services, or commodities to a level much higher than is considered reasonable or fair, and is considered exploitative in all the circumstances. It's always good to read them articles before me come, but me didn't read them, you know. You understand? More times I will just jump up and you have to tackle it quick. I am making another call for consumers to make a report to the Consumer Affairs Commission, where they are experiencing unreasonable increases in the prices of goods. The Consumer Affairs Commission also has an app in the Play Store where complaints can be made as well. Let's work together to protect each other as we tackle this COVID-19 crisis. The offender under the new order can be held criminally liable and could be subjected to a fine not exceeding $2 million or to a term of imprisonment with or without hard labor not exceeding 2 years. So peeps, for the people out there who are try use a little crisis here, if you dig out poor people here, on a tappy. You understand? And I sincerely hope that this law does not sit down and get a cobweb and it is used and enforced if the need arises. You understand? Some people can't even take care of themselves right now, much less we have pay increased price. Like, well, I mean, I know though. I don't know Rasta. Zane? Peace, what next good thing go on where me I say, hold on. And before I go any further, good night to everybody who is here, whether you're commenting or you're not commenting. If you're in the thing, big up yourself. For the people that want to the chat, big up on yourself. It's really important because you see that engagement here. Tell YouTube, say, people that might enjoy the stream, so them show it to some more people. You understand what I say? So I know some people just come sit down and look and want bench like, big up on yourself, bench the here. But me I say it would be good for, you know, drop a one comment, say teach, big up yourself. You don't have to want a long argument with nobody. Teach, you appreciate the word, teach, big up yourself, teach something. You understand what I say? Your head big, something. You understand? Keep it thing going. Yeah, you want to just sit down and look at my face. You understand what I say? Yeah, man, ready now, peeps. So, you know that there are many groups of workers who are considered as essential workers. See? So, me I tell you, Cindy Randall bossy thing. You understand? And thing. And among that group are police officers. Now, news broke. Peeps, one to the stream. May I freeze up here, sir. But it's an excellent condition. Are you seeing me clearly? Big up Richie. Yeah, man. Everybody head can't small, sir. Then you have a small head world. You dead the world, you know. You understand? You then just look one way. Then you have to have different sizes. Let me know if everything coming through clear. Zane, Mike say never get a notification. That's all I think. I'm a Spotsy Brown. Good night, Empress. Thanks for the contribution. You know I think you know, I appreciate that something there. You Zane? Yeah, man. Now, a news article broke which suggests that, yeah, because everybody use the Wi-Fi, you know, Cindy. Everybody there these days, you understand? So, yeah, your Wi-Fi kind of under pressure. The internet, anyways, the bandwidth. Where the names, the station, the addresses of police officers who may have been exposed to infected COVID-19 patients while they are executing their lawful duties was released by somebody within the Jamaica Constabulary Force based on information. No, yo, it's like, boy, yo, we don't know. Yo, outrage. Me vex and me no involved. Outrage after names of cops in COVID-19 quarantine released online. Who came up with this novel idea to be an idiot? Like, me I try to figure that out. I mean, boy. The hierarchy of the Jamaica Constabulary Force has launched an investigation following the reported release of a list of police officers said to be in quarantine over COVID-19 fears. The list was reportedly circulated online and includes at least one inspector, said a police insider. Blessings, Empress Brown. In an internal communication sent to officers that was obtained by the newspaper here, Patrick Rowe, chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation, said, "This list includes the names and information about some of our members who are said to be quarantined. We have reported this serious breach to the Commissioner of Police. This is a serious breach of trust and confidence, and the Police Federation is 100% against the sharing of this information, which puts our members at risk. Can I tell you? Said the chairman, Ah boy, who represents rank and file police officer? Well, you know that. The High Command of the JCF has said that measures have been implemented to ensure the safety of police personnel against the spread of the COVID-19. Some 480 policemen and women have been trained and sensitized to be first responders and to be able to interact with individuals who have been infected with the dreaded virus, said Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson. The commissioner also said supplies of gloves, masks, sanitizers, disinfectants, and sprays have been sent to police divisions across the island. No, these people are so careless. You know what we're asking about it? Apparently, the info was leaked by somebody within the police force. Why would you think it would be cute to have your colleagues who are in quarantine because they may have become affected while doing their jobs? Auntie, I don't know, Rasta. As much of that, I don't know. Rasta, I don't know, Star. Yeah. Me see, commissioner say, you don't really have no problem with bars in a police station. Me have problem with that still, but I saw the article, I read it, but I never put it in here, so I will probably talk about it Sunday. You know, Sunday is more like a bar evening. You understand? Be careful. Medical practitioner warns against social media misinformation on COVID-19. So medical practitioner Dr. Carl Excel, a man surname bad. They with a surname like this, then you can't do nothing in a life but Excel. So the man Excel to become a doctor. Dr. Carl Excel, one of them surname I should got to medical practitioner Dr. Carl Excel is cautioning Jamaicans to be careful where they get their medical information on COVID-19, as a lot of misinformation about the disease is being disseminated. Yo, every man turn doctor, enough no bright. Yo, be soon drop a pound on the whole of that. You understand what I say? Auntie. Be wary and careful of some of these messages being disseminated. Maybe not one on it, maybe not telling you. Check with medical professionals, the Ministry of Health, or with reasonably good sources of information. You know, like teach them. He said, making reference to social media posts on the virus. Dr. Excel made a remark while addressing the JN Circle meeting in Linstead recently, where he was invited to educate members about how to protect themselves and family members from contracting the disease. He said this was not the time to panic. Don't panic, I tell you no. You understand? Yeah, man. Hold on. But instead, persons should avail themselves of credible sources of information, wash their hands, and avoid crowded areas. He noted that the virus will affect every aspect of society, including businesses. So far, there has been a fallout in the tourism sector, with some hotels stuttering and shutting their doors, also laying off workers. Some businesses have scaled back on their operations as they abide by the government guidelines of only essential services turning up for work. Meanwhile, non-essential services have been instructed to work from home if possible. Dr. Excel, however, maintained that whatever the situation, generally good health was important and encouraged, long story, we'll eat some fruits and them something. In short, the man say information they want to get from social media, you have to be careful. Because right now, the things set away. So, now I'm going to show you a look at the kind of pen, you understand, and we drop one of them time. So forward. 2020 of the year, we're just not here. In a business with nobody or have no fear. I wonder if it's true, it's a leap year. Here comes Corona, what a massive scare. Some say a man make it cause the planet, them want to wreck it. Some say a biological warfare. Some say logical cause God the near. But youth, me tell you the truth. Me here says a man what drink some bath soap. From Wuhan, China to Kingston, Jamaica. You remember when them say if it reach, it can't stay here? Yo, and a joke thing, it a mash up foreign. The UK and OK, Spain is in pain. Don't forget Italy, where it a deal with bitterly. Round the world, it killed 1,000. Right now, enough country, it left frozen. Yard and abroad, Rona God. You don't care who you be or who you call Lord. Someone still a take risk, like them can't get sick. Some not take no talk, all the Lord them are this. Some prefer go viral than them own survival. Some man a joker, it's like the devil or them idol. This thing is a wave, but it not tidal. Right now the baddest thing and it has no rival. Social media is a problem in the COVID fight. A lot of info, but nothing right. Confusion and panic are that them are insight. Enough man a turn doctor and most not bright. Please beware, stop believe everything you hear. You remember when them say blacks can't catch that. And let's be clear, Jano, I swear, I understand the fear. But let's be calm and stay informed. Vinegar and peroxide must never collide. We are buy some things and even know what inside. Miss Mabel, if it not have no label, it not able. Cause you might use it and become unstable. Two good shopping practices, you must abide. If you must sneeze, just step one side. Use a piece of tissue, that shouldn't be no issue. Coughing is no laughing, especially if it often. Wash your hand for 20 seconds, on the pipe or in a pan. Always use soap, this I hope. Cause this virus thing serious, but with it we can cope. Do the right thing, you hear me Regine, no bother with the close contact thing. Kissing and sex, that might have to rest. Me know it rough, but you have to try your best. Just follow the code, avoid the road, stick to the rules, don't be fools. Corona or order, me even know what some man rather. But not for try off a prison, cause them just nah listen. Don't touch your face, me know it hard, but in any case, life too precious, and that we can't waste. Yo, get a mask, feel up with the task. Enough full proof, but the virus it will help. All off. This plus disinfectant and social distance will help us to keep up resistance. Yo, if you start feel sick, nose a run and you feel feverish, cough, sneeze and your throat start itch, do the right thing. Don't hide it. Don't hesitate or wait too late. What you gonna say when they show up at your gate? Call the authority, death, not try off of it. Not chew your Sirona and muggle in a skirt. Make she go on, don't try flirt. She will kick off your face and you drop a dirt. This is not a death bell, the data will tell. Majority survive and I do very well. This is a new dawn from which we will move on. Just take care of the elderly and don't forget the newborn. Stop discriminate, don't show hate. Stop criticize, don't stigmatize. Just remain wise, open your eyes, and above all things, stay sanitized. I know some people are talking about a sex part. Understand that? We don't talk to you, I say, a close contact thing, nobody with the same thing. You understand? Zane? Yeah, man. Kissing and sex, that might have to rest. I know it's hard, but you have to try your best. Peace! As I say, as far as I am concerned, that is a synopsis, an overview, a summary of the thing. You understand? In a creative way. Basically, what the doctor tell you, right, look away, but just I tell you, I did me ain't go medical school. But we ain't no fool. Because when we did go to school, whenever did that warm the store. But never mind, everything good. So let me ask you now, please, I can move on, because you know what I think. If you don't watch it yet, it's up on YouTube. Go watch it and them something. See, in all the video that should be viral, you know. But you know what thing, God. Then anything positive and uplifting and edifying, not really dwell in Jamaica. You understand? But anything where controversial and gossipy and crappy, then are them things there. But that's how I think. We not feel no way about it. Crap off itself too. You understand? No truth to rumor of pending Westmoreland lockdown. Says JC. My Spotsy Brown, big up yourself. I appreciate the support. You hear me? Yeah, man. Bless up. See? I say the man sound like DYCR inspired. You know, I know. You see people. I don't understand, you know. Me come here and me a rhyme from time to time. You understand? Long before DYCR in me fine. I know me drop 2 rhyme and people are say a DYCR can teach them the chime. Then never mind. No truth to rumor of pending Westmoreland. Of pending Westmoreland lockdown. JCF says, yeah? So the police have advised that there is no truth to a voice note that is being circulated in the Westmoreland Police Division about that parish being slated to be quarantined or locked out. You understand what I mean? I say, blessings in the new year. You understand? Father, Mr. Chad, a long time I don't see the one and I'm up all as well. You understand what I mean? I say, big up yourself and I hope the family good. You see me? Tresson, Miss Morgan, Treshawn, hope I pronounce that correctly. Jeremy reads that they're dead. That MVP, what you dealt with. See? But a long time here rhyme in a family. Regular me come here come a rhyme. And just come me decide so me go do 2 pine. You understand? Everybody has say, yo, a true DYCR, I5. Dead, I don't do dead. You understand? The voice note is fake, as many voice notes are these days. And the police is being advised not to spread. And the public is being advised not to spread erroneous voice notes about the COVID-19 pandemic. As I said, Zane, social media is a problem in the COVID fight. A lot of info, but nothing right. You hear me? Listen, you know. Zane, or any other form of health-related matters. Additionally, the public is being reminded to continue to follow the bulletins of the Ministry of Health and Wellness as that entity is the sole provider for updates on the COVID-19 virus, said the Jamaica Constabulary Force in a statement. Also, the police are reminding members of the public to be responsible and not create or share false news generally, which the JCF said can cause unnecessary panic and anxiety. Beware. Don't believe everything you hear. Tell you know, we better go play about your point because them not listen. See, a part of the COVID situation, I'm saying for share this time for forward in back. Yeah. So, alright, so I'm going to share a little thing and then we'll forward in back. See? But we're not going away. We're there, same way. So the press conference that was held earlier, you know, is very informative as per usual. So instead of me coming here, come read all of the article about all of the press conference, but so let the people them what they do there, tell you know what go on. You understand? So I got all of us in the comment section. See? Yeah, man. I'm there. I think I hit this year.
Virtually, online, and we are now living up to that. So, Cabinet met today. We didn't meet virtually. We met at the Cabinet offices. And we had a fairly long agenda, mostly reviewing measures that are already in place and figuring out ways to improve those measures. We started off by looking at how we were managing crisis. We had an offer from a private sector consulting firm to work with the government to establish a crisis management support unit, which we have decided will be attached to the Office of the Cabinet, and that will support the ministers, support the Office of the Prime Minister, support the Cabinet as a whole in our decision making, in providing us with information, with scanning the horizon for new threats which we have not factored in, and with helping us to organize and strengthen the management of the crisis response. And I think that that is a good thing for the government, good thing for the Cabinet. It will certainly help us to be able to deliver the service that the public is expecting of their government. We have made a decision not to seek an extension of the quarantine in Bull Bay. So at midnight tonight, that will come to an end. This is not to say that the residents of Bull Bay should not continue to maintain a high level of vigilance and caution, all the social distancing and the recommended hygiene practices. The Ministry of Health has 8 persons, I gather, under surveillance for testing, and they are awaiting the results of those tests. Those persons remain under quarantine, and the Ministry of Health has a heightened presence and surveillance of the Bull Bay community. So even though the quarantine will be lifted, the Ministry of Health will have a presence and will continue its surveillance of the area. At this point, I will invite the Minister of Health to give his update.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. So the latest numbers as it relates to persons who have tested positive for the coronavirus, COVID-19, are 34 new confirmed cases within the last 24 hours. So of the total number, 20 are imported cases, with, of course, 1 death, which was announced earlier, and 8 are import-related cases. And 2 are under investigation. The new cases are as follows: 87-year-old male from Manchester with a travel history, which includes New York, a 51-year-old male from St. Catherine with a travel history that includes New York, and a 52-year-old male with no travel history but a close contact of a visitor from Canada who reported ill upon return to Canada. And the fourth is a 56-year-old male from Manchester with no travel history but was in contact with tourists from several countries. And the investigation as it relates to this particular individual continues. In terms of testing, we have now tested 189. We have done 189 samples, tests. So that would be 250, sorry. 250 tests. 30, as said earlier, would have tested positive, and the rest negative, with 2 pending. We will elaborate more. Maybe I'll ask the CMO, well, the PM will ask the CMO later on to elaborate more on the testing method, because I know that's a point of discussion and some amount of contention. But we have expanded the testing methodology to look at not just persons who we have traced, but also persons with severe upper respiratory ailment, in an attempt to establish a control group to see to what extent the virus may be spreading throughout the community. And that is giving us a good indication as to the rate of spread, and the CMO, when she speaks, can give better details on that. But so far, I think we're encouraged in terms of what we have found as it relates to that. In terms of the 7 and 8 Mile Bull Bay, the Prime Minister spoke about the quarantining ending tonight at 12 o'clock. But just to reiterate that we will remain vigilant, and to the extent that there may be 1 or 2 householders who we are recommending for home quarantine, those persons are going to be expected to remain as such. As it relates to current peace, we visited some 50 householders so far, 217 persons. Their health status checked, monitoring continues, and we have 2 persons in isolation within that community, and we continue to provide critical support. The final point I'd raise here before I hand back to the PM is that we are very concerned about persons who have come in over the last few days, and we'll be taking some measures to announce the flight numbers and encourage those persons to home quarantine. And I know the PM will comment a little more on that as it relates to the extent of our engagement to ensure that that is followed. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. And I want to pick up from where Minister Tufton left off. We are at still very early days in the epidemic. And we have managed, by virtue of the measures that have been put in place, to keep the numbers relatively low compared to others in the region. But this could change overnight. It could change in an instant. And today we examined some of the threats that could contribute or trigger a spike in our numbers. The biggest threat presently to our numbers spiking would be persons who returned to Jamaica within the last 14 days, specifically those who returned from the 18th of March to the 23rd of March, those who have not kept themselves in quarantine and who are circulating in the population who could possibly be asymptomatic or symptomatic and are spreading the disease in the population. So, having examined that threat, we have decided, which I had already put into the public domain, that we will be examining all the manifests that have come in, that is the manifests of aircraft, passenger aircrafts that have come in, which will provide us with the information of persons who have come into the island. We will continue to publicize all the flight numbers and dates of flights that have come into the island during that period of time. And we are asking citizens to pass on information to the relevant authorities using the various lines that have been provided by the Ministry of Health of persons who you may have information on, that they have come into the island, but they are not self-quarantining. We need to know. The manifests are with the police and the Ministry of Health, and they have been instructed to identify the persons on the manifest and to conduct checks based upon addresses and other leads to find persons who have come into the island and who are not quarantining. So we will be visiting addresses. Upon visiting someone's address that is on the manifest that should be in quarantine, if that person is not in quarantine, then the Ministry of Health and the law enforcement will make the necessary processes activated, meaning that you will either be warned or charged, depending on, of course, the circumstances. But after that, if you are checked again, you will definitely be charged for breaching the quarantine rules. We, at this time, can take no risks in our efforts to control the spread of this very dangerous disease. So I use this now not as a threat, not as a warning, but as advice to those who have come into the island between the 18th and the 23rd and who are not maintaining the quarantine rules, that the police and the Ministry of Health have been instructed to go through the manifest, to identify your name and match that with an address, to visit the address and to determine whether or not you are actually maintaining the self-quarantine or the home quarantine. If not, the government will make provisions for you to be housed in a state quarantine facility and to be charged for the breach. Again, we can take no risks. In advance of this, the government has developed a website to supplement the contact numbers that have been made available by the Ministry of Health, and Minister Tufton, I'm certain, will give you those numbers shortly. But I want to, for the benefit of the public, just read out the website. And for those persons who have come into the island between the 18th and the 23rd, it would be very useful for you to go on this website, fill out the questionnaire, and provide the information to the Ministry of Health so that we can be aware of your health status and be in touch with you to give you any support that you would need. This website is Jam COVID-19, that is JAMCOVID19 .moh.gov.jm. jamcovid19.moh.gov.jm. www.jamaica.gov.jm. We spent a significant period of time in the cabinet discussing the economic support program. We have with us today the Minister of Finance, who would want to just give...
Peeps, the Minister of Finance part, I don't know if it's really applicable right now. So I don't know. Tell me if you don't want to watch here, I can push it forward. Because you know, really so much things are kind of relevant immediately, in all honesty. See, but if you say yes, I yes still. But I don't really want to keep on up all night. Because we have a lot of things to talk about, you know. You understand? So I know what I go on. Yeah, no, Kurt, I'm good, man. I'm good. All things from your side, I pan, brother. See? I'm go and play. I don't know, no, very slow though. See, push forward. Oh, alright, I want to say skip, so yeah, skip. It look like it's gone. That's how far I push this. Boom. I want to take the last part.
This facility becomes available on the 9th of April. Thank you, Prime Minister.
Thank you, Minister of Finance. And
Thank you.
Again, just wanted to reiterate a point that the Minister of Finance made, that Jamaica has never had a platform that would allow it to intervene in a time of crisis in such a discreet way, meaning intervene on an individual level to ensure that the benefit of the government intervention actually gets to the persons who are targeted for the intervention. So we have intervened in mass ways for groups, but the beneficiary targeting systems have never been precise, and therefore in between what the government intends to deliver versus what actually gets to the citizen, there is oftentimes a gap. And our fear, of course, is that once that gap exists, then there is room for all kinds of misdirection and misallocation of resources. So we are learning from the experience of the past, and we are definitely going to try our best to ensure that whatever support and stimulus that is provided, that it goes from the government to the beneficiary, that is targeted, and it is not dispersed in ways that would not yield the results that we would want and for the rightful beneficiaries to get. So the Minister of Finance has just given the overview. The details, of course, will come when we go live with our online platform. As an aside point, we also discussed putting the NIDS on a faster track to implementation. It is clear that if we had the national system of identification, then it would be far easier for the government to provide this kind of individualized benefit system that would be to the benefit of all. The truth is we now don't have that system. We are behind in its implementation. We still have new legislation to bring to the cabinet and to the parliament, but we cannot waste a crisis. Now is the time when we really need to have the system, and we're going to move as quickly as possible within the boundaries of the laws and constitution to ensure that every citizen of Jamaica has a unique identifier that will be able to ensure that whatever benefits that come from the government will go directly to them. So we also spent some time clarifying the various orders that have been issued, and the Attorney General is here with me, and the Minister of Local Government is here with me, beautifully decked out in his pink shirt. So he will be joining me shortly to explain some of the orders. I have seen persons sending around videos, and I have received the complaints that some of the entities which have been exempted from the gathering regulation, that is the 10 persons gathering have been conducting their operations in such a way that it defeats the very purpose of the orders, which is to ensure that there is no spread, general spread of the virus. So we're seeing businesses having long lines outside where social distancing rules are not being abided by. People are closing doors and only taking in 10 at a time. Let me give an overview, and then the Attorney General could give further explanations. The rule regarding gathering is an absolutely important rule. It reduces the probability of spread of the disease within a population. We have decided to go with a moderate rule. There are other countries that have very stringent rules. Down to 3 persons can gather in close proximity at any one place. We have kept ours at 10, and most countries seem to be gathering around that average of 10 in terms of what their orders would look like. We have exempted some businesses, some entities from this general gathering rule of 10 persons. Some exempted entities would be the market, for example, markets, supermarkets, pharmacies. We had said gas stations earlier. We had said financial institutions and the tax office and the customs office. It doesn't mean that they are exempt from the social distancing rule or from the requirement to practice the sanitization rules, the hands, sneezing in the elbow, the use of tissue, not touching your face. Those rules still apply. What we are saying to operators of these entities, people who manage these entities and people who use services provided by these entities, is that within the space that you are going to be occupying, you must ensure that everyone is at least 3 feet apart. If I were going into the space, I would want to be at least 6 feet apart. But that's just me. But the requirement of the order is that you are at least 3 feet apart. And the persons who are managing these entities should at all times put in place the systems that would be having a surveillance of the space to ensure that this is maintained. Persons operating this space should ensure that there is, for example, a hand sanitization station, that there are napkins available or tissue available for persons to use. These kinds of provisions to ensure that the space is maintained in such a way that it is not an area in which there is a high probability of spread. So, for example, supermarkets, no need to only take 10 persons at a time. Look at your floor space and see how many persons could fit within that floor space without violating the minimum 3 feet apart, and put in place the necessary hand sanitization stations, the signs, and these other things which are important in ensuring that we maintain the essence of the order. Attorney General, if you would want to join me to give further explanations.
Thank you, Prime Minister. My fellow Jamaicans at home and abroad and friends of Jamaica, we continue to be in challenging times. We are monitoring and managing a crisis that is unprecedented. I would like to just use the opportunity to say that I see the debate is raging in the public space about the constitutionality of the measures that we have taken. Be assured that debate is also taking place internally within the government. I want to let you know that for every action we have taken, especially as those actions relate to the rights of our people, they are limited to containing the spread of this contagious disease, and they're also limited in time. So let the debates rage, but be assured that those of us who are here in government, especially the Prime Minister and his team, we have to take actions in real time to deal with issues that are unfolding before us. We don't have the luxury of sitting down and getting into niceties, but we must carefully consider what we're doing and be assured that is what we have done. Just to say again that at this stage we have opted to utilize the Disaster Risk Management Act, and that is because this is a multi-sectoral crisis that we're facing, and we took the view that it requires a multi-sectoral approach. And at this time, the 2015 Disaster Risk Management Act is the newest provision we have on our law books that enable us to deploy all of government in addressing the issue. Prime Minister has promulgated the disaster risk management enforcement measures, and we have been clarifying those measures. He has pointed out that we are restricting movements because the medical experts tell us that that is critical to containing the spread of the disease, and so the quarantine rules are designed that way. The rules in relation to social distancing and staying at home are also measures that are directly related to containing the pandemic, the crisis that we're facing. So we have the general stay at home rule that if you can work from home, you should do so, and this requires an assessment within organizations of the duties that are assigned to each employee. And we continue to say work from home if you can, because the science tells us that everyone has a role to play, and the biggest role is just to stay home, stay out of the way of being at risk and being at harm. So we have also looked at those who are most vulnerable, again informed by the data provided by the medical experts. So we have vulnerability by virtue of age and vulnerability by virtue of underlying conditions. We have addressed specifically the age issue in the order promulgated by the Prime Minister, and we have asked persons who are 65 years and over to work from home where they can, and we have asked persons who are 75 years and over to stay home for a period of time. And these prohibitions are part of our way of discharging our responsibility to you and to ensure that you are protected as best as circumstances permit. Prime Minister has indicated that we have, for practical purposes, accepted a number of establishments and categories. And even though we have not specified that those who are exempted are mandated to keep the social distance rule, as at this time, I can only reiterate what the medical experts are saying and what the Prime Minister has already said, that in order to contain the spread, we must maintain distance. If it becomes necessary, we will mandate it. So right now, we are, as we assess, we will escalate up as the need arises and as we are advised by the experts. Be happy to take any questions in due course. Thank you.
So I'm going to invite next the Minister of Local Government to give further clarity and to seek the cooperation of several of our entities which fall directly under the supervision and regulation of the municipal authorities.
Thank you. Thank you, Prime Minister. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, the questions have been asked about the operation of gyms across the country. This is an area where a lot of people gather for early morning exercise right through the day, and it is an area of great concern. This is now an official appeal to the operators of all gyms across the country, that we are asking that operations be toned down in order to comply with some of the measures that the government is putting in place as we respond to the virus. There are other places of public concerns, parlors and other open spaces where we continue to see large gathering. The municipal corporations have been instructed to close all public parks, to restrict access to public parks across the country. And we are calling on Jamaicans to accept and to work as we try to contain the disease across the country. The Minister of Finance gave an indication of the support that is being contemplated for certain sectors of the country, and some critical areas that falls under the Ministry of Local Government will benefit once we have worked out the protocol surrounding how these benefits will be passed on to those who will qualify. Barbers and hairdressers, owners and operators of bars and vendors in our markets. There are criteria that will be set out as to how you can access these benefits. And once we have worked out those criteria, we will be putting in motion the system in order to facilitate this operation. Just quickly, Prime Minister, I want to make two announcements that is of importance. Commencing on Sunday, we will begin feeding of our homeless population across the country. We will be providing on a daily basis a breakfast between 9 and 10 a.m. every day, and dinner between 2 to 4 o'clock every day, commencing on Sunday. The corporate area, which is the largest constituents of that street population, will be operating out of several locations. In Crossroads, we'll be operating out of the Carib Car Park, in New Kingston, Grenada Way, in Halfway Tree, the Bethel Baptist Church, and the car park at the KSAC, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation building in downtown Kingston. So this feeding program will complement what we are presently doing in the other parishes where our drop-in facilities are providing daily meal and supply for persons living on the streets of the country. We are now working assiduously to find a location which we intend to put in motion early next week, where we can take some of these persons off the street, especially in the corporate area, on a temporary basis. Local government is critical to community development, and the councillors play a critical role in this fight against the COVID-19. And therefore, the government, through the Ministry of Local Government, will be making $140 million available to be used amongst councillors. These funds will be used under specific guidelines that is set out by the ministry, along with the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Health. And the details of those programs will be worked out, but the benefits of this program is to reach those in the various communities across the country who are affected by what is taking place. So again, let me urge my fellow Jamaicans, especially the operators of public gyms and open spaces, that we are now asking that you come on board and with immediate effect tone down or cease operations in these areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Just to reinforce, particularly, we've been getting many complaints about the operations of gyms. And, you know, it's a delicate balancing act. We're encouraging people to still get their exercise. Exercise is important to building immunity. But gyms in particular are places where you have to share surfaces, and you possibly are operating in very close quarters. So gyms will be under the surveillance of the Ministry of Health to ensure that they are maintaining the social distancing, that they have the necessary sanitization practices to ensure that there is no spread in those areas. And if, having reviewed their operations, we form the opinion that we are not getting the cooperation necessary, then we will adjust the order as necessary to ensure that there is no spread. We are walking on a tightrope. We are trying to keep the economy going along, and we are trying to prevent the spread of the disease. We can only do both if everyone cooperates, and that's really the key message. There's been a lot of questions about testing and our testing capacity, and why are we not testing like other countries are testing. I'm going to invite our CMO, who was explained already, but to explain again and to give a further update. CMO.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, first since I'm standing here, I just want to say a word again of recognition to our healthcare workers. I want to commend in particular the teams that have been on the ground doing the contact tracing, really and truly in all the regions and in almost all the parishes. They have been doing a tremendous job. They have been out there going from home to home, interacting with quite a broad section of the community. And I just want to thank the people of Jamaica for assisting them in their work. I just want to reach out also to the hospital staff. I know that a lot of them are feeling a lot of pressures. We have patients admitted who are suspected and confirmed cases in quite a few of our hospitals at this time. And I know that the staff is pressured in terms of managing personal protective equipment, in managing all the news that is around them, you know, especially where we are seeing that healthcare workers right across the world are being affected severely and having severe outcomes in this global outbreak. So I just wanted to assure them that the Ministry of Health is procuring and to ensure that all the necessary protective equipment is in place. We have done our survey of the hospitals and of the regional health authorities, and we still are maintaining that we do have personal protective equipment in place. In speaking to some of the departments, I realize that there may be some shortage of communication between the different departments and the stores. So we have asked for this to be corrected so that the departments can be adequately supplied with equipment. I just want to say a word in terms of the Bull Bay community that is being released from quarantine this evening or tonight. I want to remind the citizens of Bull Bay, as the AG had mentioned, that the general rules are still in place. So therefore, there's a general stay home as much as possible. Limit your chance of being exposed to someone who is ill, and protect your elderly relatives and limit their exposure. Protect the persons in your families who have chronic illnesses. You protect them by staying at home and limiting your own exposure and the possibility of bringing home the virus to them. Stay at home if you are ill and contact the health department if it is that you need to have any kind of assistance or you have any concerns about your illness. anyone that has traveled must stay home for the next 14 days. If you develop symptoms, call the health department. Wash your hands frequently and maintain a 3 to 6 feet distance from persons. Continued surveillance is going to take place in this community over the next 4 weeks. So therefore, our healthcare workers are going to be in the communities. They are still going to be visiting the homes of the persons that have been identified as close contacts of persons who would have been confirmed with COVID-19. They are also going to be present in the wider community. Please report to them if you have ill members in your home so that these persons can be tested. The persons who are presently being tested, who are waiting on results, or who have other instructions to stay at home, must stay at home and complete their 14-day quarantine period. At this time, as the Prime Minister mentioned, we have a great threat from persons who are returning from countries that have very, very active transmission. And I just want to reiterate that persons who have traveled must stay at home. You must limit the risk of exposure of other persons, and staying at home will help you to monitor your illness so that you can find out early if you are developing symptoms so that you can report it, so that the necessary actions can be taken. I just want to advise the public of the changes, some of the changes that we have made in terms of our surveillance. And this is to ensure that we pick up any evidence of any kind of community transmission as soon as possible. All persons with severe acute respiratory illnesses in hospital, that is persons who have pneumonias, will be tested. These persons are from across the entire island. So once you are in hospital and you have a severe acute respiratory infection, you will be tested. All our healthcare workers who develop any kind of acute respiratory infection will also be tested. All our persons who visit our health centers and our accident and emergency department, we will be doing a sampling of those persons to determine if there is any kind of spread in the community. So not everyone will be tested, but everyone will be advised to stay home if they have any problems and to report if there's any worsening of their symptoms so that the necessary action can be taken. But a certain amount of those persons on a regular, routine basis will be tested across the country from the hospitals, A&E departments, and from the primary care facilities. In order to allow for this testing to take place, I should mention also that in addition to that, we will be testing whether symptomatic or asymptomatic direct contacts of those persons who have been confirmed with COVID-19. These measures are in addition to the testing of persons who are suspected cases. A suspected case meaning a person that has traveled to an area where there is active transmission or who have been in contact with somebody who has COVID-19 and now have acute respiratory symptoms or severe, whether it be severe or not. In order to facilitate this testing, we have expanded and we are in the process of expanding our testing capacity. We are in the process of expanding our sites for testing. At present, testing is carried out at the National Influenza Center. The Ministry of Health is working very, very hard to establish within the next 2 to 3 weeks the capacity at the National Public Health to also test. We have acquired a machine that is capable of this testing, and the installation will start this week, on Monday. The installation will start on Monday, and we are hoping that everything will be completed as early as possible to facilitate testing. And we have ordered 10,000 tests to be able to be done on that machine. This is in addition to our testing capacity at the National Influenza Center, where we presently have the capacity at this present time to do 3,000 minus the 250 tests that we have already done. This testing capacity is supported by PAHO, and PAHO has indicated that they are going to provide additional test kits, another 6,000 tests that we expect to receive in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So at this time, we do not anticipate that we have a shortage of testing, neither now nor in the medium term. As time progresses, we will continue to do our assessments and will expand our capacity as it becomes necessary.
So you were going on so beautifully, CMO, I thought you had another point to make. But the CMO made some very important points, and I just want to pick up on the point about testing, because the media reports, the information that is circulating, and indeed the WHO have recommended increased testing as part of the toolkit of the government. But every government has to organize its toolkit in such a way based upon the exigencies of its own resources. So some countries may be able to have, hundreds of thousands of tests done without having an impact on the resources available to do other things, because, Jamaica does not have unlimited resources. So if we decide to focus on one thing, it could be to the detriment of others. So it's about making the priority decisions. And I believe that what the CMO has said is that we are expanding the base of testing. We are expanding the targets for testing. We are increasing the capacity for testing, both in terms of the actual tests themselves, but also in terms of the machine and the equipment to do the tests, which will last for many years. So if, God forbid, there were to be another outbreak of some infectious disease, that investment in the equipment would give us the capacity to be able to respond. So Jamaica is well covered in a strategic way for testing. And I would put it to you in this way. We have tested so far, as the Minister mentioned, 250 persons. To date, we have confirmed out of that 250 that have come to us by virtue of imported cases, contacts of imported cases, and traces done, and people who would have come into hospitals, and we have tested all of those. And we have 30 cases. Now, that's about 12%. So having tested 250 persons, 12% of that. Now, people might say that is low, but that is the result. That is what we have. And we have spent some time in cabinet with the health professionals, with the public health professionals, to say, what else can we do to make sure that we're not missing anything? And what the CMO has said is that she has tested persons as a control group within our hospitals that are reporting flu-like pneumonias symptom. And you want to tell us what the result of that testing was?
So far, we have tested 61 persons, severe acute respiratory infections in our hospitals. 60 are negative, and we're awaiting one result.
So what this is saying is that people who are in hospitals who have flu-like symptoms, pneumonia, or other symptoms of the flu, are also tested. So we're not just testing persons who have traced for COVID-19 or who have COVID-19, but persons who have other symptoms within that general category of symptoms that are flu-like. And for the 60 you have tested, 0 results so far, 1 you're still waiting on. So it gives us a sense of assurance of what we're doing generally. But nevertheless, the science is saying expand your testing, and we are going to expand testing. Now bear in mind that getting a test today that says you're negative doesn't mean that tomorrow you can't catch COVID-19. So it does give you some sense as to where there are clusterings happening when you do tests, but the test itself does not prevent you from getting the disease. We also focused on some of the HR matters, the human resource management matters, and the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health would want to give you an update. P.S.
Thank you, Prime Minister, ministers. Over the past 2 weeks, we have been getting many requests from public sector and private sector organizations around persons who have been asked to stay at home. Now, it doesn't qualify as sick leave because they are not sick. And therefore, there's no certification that a doctor will give to you around your medical status. But you're being asked to stay at home as a function of quarantine, or you're asked to stay at home as a function of your requirement to self-isolate or self-quarantine. So the Ministry of Health and Wellness, in taking into regard this request for an HR transaction that allows organizations to verify persons who would have been required to stay at home, will be launching on Monday a system that allows persons who have been asked to stay at home to receive a special code that will also be emailed to their organization. Organizations will also be able to contact the ministry and verify whether or not persons have been asked to self-quarantine or being put in quarantine. The Ministry of Health and Wellness will also be instituting the same system for fit-to-work certification, where organizations will receive notification that an individual has completed their term of quarantine, and then they will be asked to, they will receive a document that allows the organization to verify that this person is now able to return to work. And these two mechanisms are critical, we believe, to the effective maintenance of the economic activities that we currently have in place. Thank you, Prime Minister.
Thank you, PS. So effectively, if I just to repeat quickly what you were saying, that if someone has been asked by virtue of some concern about their health status to stay at home in self-quarantine or is quarantined in a state facility, that you have now put in place an online mechanism which will become live on Monday to inform both the employee and the employer of that status. And when that status has changed by virtue of them completing their 14 days, they will also be informed virtually as well. Thank you, PS. The Minister of Education is here with us. There have been many complaints and indeed suggestions as well regarding how the food that is distributed through the Ministry of Education, the lunch program, and sometimes breakfast, how that is done, and he will give us an update as to where we are with that.
Thank you, Prime Minister. I'm not going to detain you because as I look around, I realize that most of you folks are a bit younger than I am, and my quarantine time is up. So I bet, or has just begun, I have to get back. The fact of the matter is I want to take this opportunity to thank the parents of the children who have had to stay home and the tremendous amount of effort that has been put into ensuring that they get the appropriate lessons that they attend to their lessons, and I'm very hopeful that the results coming out of the PEP this year will see an improvement because of the level of intensity and concentration that this method that we have implemented through the internet is paying healthy dividends. I want to extend my appreciation also on behalf of the entire all Jamaica for the tremendous work being done by the teachers across the length and breadth of this country. If you can imagine the amount of pressure that they've been under since March 18th to introduce a new system and have it work as beautifully as this one has. I'm very proud of them. They continue to show the kind of quality that we have in this country in our teachers, and I have utmost confidence in them. Now, you have heard the Prime Minister mention the question of the feeding program. Well, we have heard them also, and we have listened to the people. And we have decided as a consequence that because of the journey that they had to take and the cost attendant thereto, we have decided that we would add the sum of money for the lunches and the breakfast program and the lunches to the PATH program and pay that monthly. So the parents will have the money in cash that will be passed through the regional offices and communicated to the parents. So they will be responsible over this period to providing lunch and breakfast for the students. There no longer will any boxes of lunches transported to locations where they can be collected and so on, which will be a great relief, I'm sure, to many. With respect to the holding of the PEP, as anticipated, you must realize by this that the PEP the exams have had to be cancelled for this, or extended, postponed. And so the fact of the matter is that we will be undertaking them in the months of June and July, and they'll be marked in August, and the placements will be made in September. Okay. This is the same approach that we're going to be adopted, that's going to be adopted with the CXC, the CSET, and of course, City and Guilds is also looking at the same time frame, same format. The cost, incidentally, of underwriting the need for PATH students who we give a grant of $1,200 for the primary school and $1,500 for the high schools. That will be continuing during this period of crisis with the COVID. And so once that period is over, we will revert to the delivery of meals at schools to over 100,000 students at a cost of $232 million. The CXC, as I mentioned, is engaging the similar format of the PEP. And I must also indicate that in addition to what we provide, the private sector have quite generously pitched in and has assisted the ministry to provide assistance in the form of meals and so on. And also with the internet providers, they have been able to assist us greatly. 30% of the students, some near 40,000 students, don't have access to cable or internet. In those cases, they will be delivered hard copies, and as we go towards taking the PEP, it will be done through the internet, or not internet, but the computer system. And so what we will do is we are in the process of training our youngsters right now who are in those areas where there's no internet service and so forth, so that by the time they come around to taking the PEP, what will happen is that the tests will be downloaded into laptops, which they are now going to be trained over this period of time, and they will write the examinations based on the information given to them, provided to them through the not laptop, but tablets. And in this regard, we have made provision for some 4,000 tablets to facilitate this process. But in addition, what we have discovered is that the children are responding so positively to this system that when they go back into the classroom, I'm sure that the teachers are going to be amazed at their dexterity in the use of tablets and the use of electronic equipment. So we have quite of necessity transitioned into the use of technology in our educational system, which is the direction that we all want to go. So, Prime Minister, I must say that in addition, we have also engaged the National Parenting Support Commission, which provides assistance to parents in these difficult times. And we've also had 32 helplines operating across the island, 2 per parish and 4 in Kingston and St. Andrew. Hotline numbers will be in place next week, and that will also assist in conditioning the children to be able to cope more effectively with the whole crisis that they are confronted with. And finally, the independent schools have reached out to us, and they have requested assistance because they anticipate a decline in the total attendance at school and the membership of their total school body. And we have indicated that the Ministry of Education will share learning material and techniques with the private schools. We believe that working together we can even bolster the basis on which they provide the kind of education that they have sought to do. So, basically, Prime Minister, all is going fairly well. You don't hear much about education these days, and that is an indication of the level to which it is operating quite efficiently. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Samuda. Just a couple of things. I want to kind of situate the minds of Jamaicans as to where we are in the epidemic. The Minister of Health has reported, if we could get the graphs up, that we have 30 cases. But it is important that we understand what is happening around the region. So you can see that we have been progressing in the epidemic. Approximately, this would be day 17, and we have put up the new cases, which are the blue bars, and you will see that we have a fairly leveling off of new cases, but still progressively increasing. And the red line represents the accumulated cases. That is the total number that we have tested and confirmed. And so we are now at 30 as at today's date. Of course, other tests are still outstanding to come in, so tomorrow you will get a different number. If we move to the other graph, which gives us a very good indication as to what is happening regionally. Now, it looks very complicated, but I'll take you through it very quickly. We have selected countries within the Caribbean region, and we have selected 2 countries from Asia and the United States. The Dominican Republic was the first country in the Caribbean to report a case, so they are the farthest ahead. They are approximately day 27 or so in the outbreak, and they have, if I'm reading correctly, somewhere in the region of about 540 cases thereabouts. Then you would have Costa Rica, which would be about day 20 in their outbreak. And I'm seeing that they have somewhere in the region of about 230 cases, if I'm seeing that correctly. Trinidad and Tobago, they have 65 cases. They are behind Jamaica. They are at about day 15 or day 14 in their outbreak. Panama has over 600 cases, 674 cases, and they are at about the same as Trinidad in terms of their their period of outbreak. So Trinidad, Jamaica, and Panama are all about in the same phase of the outbreak. And of course, Barbados is that 24 cases. They are rising fairly rapidly. But just looking at the graphs, you will see that Barbados has a steep rise, Panama has a very steep rise, Trinidad had a jump but seems to be leveling off, Costa Rica is rising, the Dominican Republic is rising, but Jamaica is having a fairly flat curve with 30 cases. And Jamaica is tracking very closely what is happening in Singapore. Now, I want you to pay close attention to Singapore because Singapore has implemented similar measures as Jamaica has. And they are at about day 63, 64 in their own outbreak, and they are experiencing a spike which is caused primarily by Singaporeans returning home with the disease. You can see that the United States, they went for a fairly long period very flat in terms of confirmed cases. Now they are having a spike with over 100,000 cases. You would see as well that Singapore spiked, South Korea spiked, but now they have managed to level off. The point I'm making to Jamaicans is that we are in the very early stage of the outbreak, that we probably will track Singapore, but inevitably, eventually, there will be a spike. What the government is trying to do is to ensure that the spike is not out of control, that the spike does not go beyond what our health system can adequately address. What are the things that could cause our curve to look like Barbados, Panama, Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic? Well, the main threat, as I said before, would be irresponsible behavior of our citizens. In particular, our citizens that have returned from overseas, our citizens who have traveled to countries where there is community spread of the disease. We know of cases, and we don't reveal names, we don't give any details. Health information always remains private. But I feel compelled to share circumstances so that the public understands that we have Jamaicans who traveled to, for example, New York, would have come back into the island, who would have been aware that they tested positive for COVID-19, and still interacted, gathered with, socialized with persons who are now traced, having to be tested, some of whom are probably now showing symptoms. One positive as a result of that action. Now that, in my opinion, is the heights of irresponsibility and almost deliberateness in action. It is, these kinds of action which cause a spike in the infections. We will never know about these irresponsible behaviors, and there might be multiples of them right across Jamaica happening right now, which we are only going to discover 3 or 4 or 5 days down the road when we see a huge number of cases coming to our attention because they are symptomatic and now having to be tested and then confirmed. And then you will see a spike. Now what that means is that we have to hospitalize them. And for every person we hospitalize, that's a bed that we are using. That's the nurses that we have to put in place. Now what happens to the people who we already have to treat with, who are just ill with normal things, with the hypertension, the diabetes? We have to be responsible. Yes, we know that there is a stigma that is emerging around the COVID-19. And the Minister of Health and everyone who has spoken has said there needs not be any stigma. What needs to happen now is that every Jamaican needs to be responsible. So if you know that you have traveled, and I'm appealing using this platform, you have traveled to a country within the last 14 days, specifically you have come into Jamaica from the 18th, please put yourself in quarantine. We have put up a website. I gather that when I announced it, there was so much traffic to it, the site crashed, but they have corrected that now. The site is up, and it will be displayed on the screen. Give us your information, self-report. Let us know what is your health status so we can help you if you are showing symptoms, so we can come and get you. Very important, very important. Let us keep our curve in Jamaica flat. Just to go back to the graph so that people see what I'm saying. Let us keep our curve flat. Notice Jamaica is the blue line. You can't even see it because it is flat. You notice that all the other lines are trending up. Let us keep our line flat. A couple other things I want to address before we close. There seems to be quite a panic about a shutdown. The government has to be very open and at the same time very cautious about how it treats with information, because there is a residual mistrust of government. And that is unfortunately the case, and we have to treat with that. In Parliament, I indicated that if our situation deteriorates in terms of the number of cases that we have to treat with, then a tool in our toolbox to treat with the epidemic would be a shutdown. We have not contemplated using that tool because the numbers don't justify it. We are in the phase where it is justified, but the numbers do not justify it just yet. If people behave irresponsibly and there is a spike, then the government would have to consider a total lockdown of the country. But at this point, that is not a contemplation. However, I also said that the public should prepare. And we can't share that information without understanding that there will be some panic, but there need not be any panic. People now need to be concerned, need to be aware, but importantly, people need to be prepared. So take your time and prepare. When I say take your time, I don't mean move slowly, but you certainly don't need to panic. I think we have been very upfront. We have shared all the information we can in the hopes that the public will take it in the best way and use it the best way possible. And as it relates to sharing information, we have come across this voice note falsely accusing the Attorney General of providing information that there will be a lockdown in Westmoreland. Now that is the heights of public mischief, and the law covers that. And indeed, I have passed the voice note to the relevant authority, who advised me that they have been monitoring, and they have already picked up that voice note, and that very soon we will see some action. I say this because there is a sense that people can break the law with impunity. I think the AG would say there are those who are immune to the law. Well, let me tell you, we are going to enforce the law. We won't be able to enforce against everyone, but certainly those that come to our attention and those that we investigate and find evidence on, we will enforce. The Minister of Health informed me today as well that charges are going to be brought against those who stole. Well, they have been charged. 4 persons have been charged who stole the personal protective equipment, of which we are now hearing complaints, we don't have enough, we don't have enough. We don't have enough because our own people have stolen them. So we have to, at this time, it's a learning, it's a learning moment for our young nation. That if we're going to recover from this crisis and be stronger, then our public order and law enforcement must play a critical role in ensuring that all Jamaicans act responsibly. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Questions?
Thank you so much, Mr. Prime Minister. Today we have on our Zoom platform several media entities, and the representatives will show on your screen, sir, along with questions from media and the general public on social media. Let's go to the media on Zoom, and we have from Nationwide, Brittany. Brittany, if you could, as you would when you are here, just identify yourself and certainly ask your question.
All right, can you hear me?
Perfectly, go ahead.
Perfectly.
Okay, thank you. Brittany Clark, Nationwide News. So I have two quick questions. The first one, approximately how many persons have arrived in the island between March 18 and March 23? And how far are we in the process of tracking those persons down in terms of numbers? And secondly, given the circumstances, is the government of the view that self-quarantine protocol is not being observed by citizens of the country?
Well, I'm going to decline answering the question as to how many Jamaicans came in. That number, we discussed it at Cabinet, but we're still just trying to make sure that we have the correct number. But it would be in the region, it would be over 2,000 that would have come into the island. The exact number we will disclose at a later stage, probably when we give out all the flight numbers, then we will disclose that number. Your other question would be about whether or not the government believes that the protocol is working. I would ask the CMO to answer that question.
I believe that the numbers that we are seeing presently in terms of the 30 confirmed cases, and I believe 18 of these are imported, 21 of these are imported cases. So the majority of cases that we're seeing are imported cases. And we've had 9 contacts. So that suggests that, yes, some persons are staying home and are sticking to the self-quarantine. As a matter of fact, as time has gone by, in the interviewing of the persons that are positive, we have found a better response, because we have found that the traffic in terms of their movements in most of the persons, the latter persons that we have picked up, has been less. It can get better. It can get better, and at this time, this is what it is going to take for us to break the transmission, for persons to be more vigilant, in staying home, and especially, as the Prime Minister mentioned, those persons that came in since the ban on the UK. After that ban, we had a lot of persons that have come in from other countries that were not included in the ban, and then we had a lot of other Jamaicans that have come home. So we really need to make sure that they stay home. So yes, I think that it is working, short answer, but I think it can work better, and I think we can do a lot more.
Thank you.
Thank you, CMO. Prime Minister, up next is the Gleaner. Let's see. On the Zoom, we go to the question from Zoom. Yes, go ahead.
Let me clarify. We are in uncharted waters. Constitutional questions will arise. We expect them. We have raised some of our own internally. Do you think that we really would embark on an action that we consider unconstitutional? Come on, come on. Opinions will differ and the debate will rage and continue to rage. And I do believe that some of these questions will only properly be answered in the court that is entrusted with interpreting the law. But right now, the actions we take, we're of the view that they are legal and constitutional. And we're very aware that views will differ. And until such time, we will do whatever is required within the bounds of the law to protect the people of Jamaica.
So, not to add to what the Attorney General has said, but I think an interpretation of what the Cabinet has done is to look at the options available for action. And what we have done is to select the best options that we believe, based upon our interpretation of the law, that we can most quickly operationalize. And so it is, in our minds always, it is we have an emergency, we need to get a particular result, we have to obey the law and the Constitution. Within those options, what are the quickest ways to get it done? And, the Cabinet is, it's like our brain, we always second guess, we always seek other opinions, but at the end of the day, we come to a decision and then we act. So we're just sharing with you that the Cabinet does not operate in a monolithic way. We are always ruminating on the facts that are placed before us.
All right, again from Zoom, the media is really just on Zoom, so let's just have them there. This from JNN. Identify yourself, kind sir.
Hi, I'm Michael Sharp from Jamaica News Network, JNN. Mr. Prime Minister, you say we should prepare for the worst, but at the same time, don't panic. Can you assist us in terms of your modeling? While our curve is relatively flat, what are your numbers showing? When would you, for example, go the route of say, now let's lock it down?
So, a very good question. I have been very reluctant in sharing the modeling information. The Minister of Health has told me that it was shared before, and I'll allow either the Minister of Health or the CMO or the representative of Minister of Health to, if they choose to say what the numbers, what our models are. My own reservation in sharing them is that they are used responsibly, because you could share these numbers and then someone says, see, this is what you predicted, but it didn't happen. These are our best perspectives. They are our best assessment, but they do not represent what will happen in reality. So I'll ask the Minister of Health if you so wish.
Thank you, Prime Minister. So in terms of using responsibly, I want to reiterate that. But the modeling that was done with the team, led by the Chief Medical Officer, was done on the basis, and our epidemiologist, Dr. Webster Carr, was done on the basis of the 2008 H1N1, 2009 H1N1 outbreak. And currently in the country, we expect the public health system, well, public and private, to deal with about 1 million cases of respiratory ailment, flu-like symptoms. The modeling that was done suggested that we could see an additional 1 million to 1.5 million cases, which would take us up to 2.5, 2.6 million. Now, it's important, though, that that number doesn't scare the population, because the vast majority of those persons affected will be mild, easily treated, no need for a doctor, the multi-symptoms, the rest, the juice, and they'll be back up and running. And the evidence suggests that across the world as it relates to this particular virus in terms of the numbers that actually pass on from the virus. Very minimal. I think it's now at 2.5% of those who are affected globally. But of those numbers, we had projected that about 400,000 would end up in our public health system. And of that number, approximately 2,000 or thereabouts would be serious enough to be hospitalized. And of those numbers, about 350 to 400 would be severe enough to require high dependency or ICU care. And that's where pneumonia would be the sort of common ailment, which of course, depending on your underlying condition, your age, your immune system, could result in fatalities. So we start with a very large number, but it gradually comes down to a relatively small number, but enough to create significant challenges for persons who are not prepared. And we are preparing the health system to deal with those numbers.
Thank you, Minister. Prime Minister, it's 2 minutes past 8 o'clock on a Friday evening. I just have a few more. I know Alicia Dunkley is waiting from the Observer in line. Let me just quickly go to Twitter for you. Sanjay Lewis from Power 106. I think the SMO might have spoken to it, but he's still asking, is there a plan to increase testing? And also from Twitter, Emily Crooks is asking, in light of the UK Prime Minister and others in government in the UK having tested positive for COVID-19 and your orders, Prime Minister, for people to work from home, when will you start working from home?
I plan to work from home today, but so we are thinking about a protocol about whenever there is a crisis, there is an element of the crisis which is leadership. And leadership has to think about the continuation of government, the continuation of the entity, the continuation of the enterprise. So even for us as members of parliament, cabinet ministers, we have to think of a protocol. The Ministry of Health has a protocol where they rotate, they allow critical leadership to take a break, refresh, and come back. Yeah, I hope you are following the protocol strictly. And we in the cabinet will have to be following, yes, we will have to be following that protocol. We started last week where we had our virtual meetings, and we intend to continue with those virtual meetings. I certainly will have to be in office on Monday. Tuesday, I'm planning to work from home. Wednesday, I'm planning to work from home. Thursday and Friday, we may be back in the office. So yes, I too am taking off and working from home. The Minister of Health, I will place him under quarantine if he doesn't take a break.
Thank you, sir. Let's go to Zoom. Alicia?
Thank you. Alicia here from The Observer. I heard just now that there were contemplations for the police to further be used as it relates to tracking the individuals who have come into the island between the 18th of March going onwards. There have been concerns raised by the Police Federation as to the strain on the members. During your contemplations or discussions today, was that an issue that came up? Was there anything that you spoke about that you would want the public to know?
Certainly.
As it relates to the police and the resource?
Yesterday, we had our National Security Council meeting, which, we have been very disciplined in having our National Security Council meeting. We have not missed a month that we haven't had that meeting. And we spent almost all the time discussing the response of the security forces, and quite a bit of emphasis was placed on the response of the JCF. The commissioner informed me that he has trained a number in the hundreds of officers to specially respond to the COVID-19 threat, and that special response would be the necessary gears and the necessary protocols as to how they would treat with it. I couldn't tell you whether or not that number is sufficient and how well dispersed they are around the island. I'm certain that the JCF at some point will give an indication. As I said earlier in my presentation, in treating with the crisis, law enforcement and public order will be critical to us coming out of the crisis. And when we're talking about law enforcement and public order, it is the JCF. Now is the time when we will have to rely on the JCF. We, however, cannot place our men and women at risk without providing them, first of all, with the proper gears and with the right training and standard operating procedures to allow them to effectively execute the tasks assigned to them. So we are not saying that the police by themselves will be asked to do this. Certainly they would have to do this in conjunction with the health officials and at the direction of the health officials. But since you have raised a question, let me repeat. We have asked the police to scrub the manifests that are there, pick up addresses that we have, to work with the Ministry of Health, to visit addresses, to see whether or not these addresses are suitable places for quarantine, and if the persons are there, to track and trace them, and if they are not observing the quarantine, it would be the discretion of the Ministry of Health and the officers to either warn or charge or place in state quarantine. If we go a second time and there is still a non-observance of the quarantine protocol, then definitely charges will be laid and those persons placed into quarantine, state quarantine, and the enforcement will be at that point complete.
Thank you, sir. We've done Zoom, we've done Twitter. Let's go to our last two questions then from Facebook. Justice is asking, has anyone left hospital who's recovered? And finally, the final question, sir, why not ask the airlines to release names of the arrivals in Jamaica in this temporary public matter?
Okay, so on the first question of anyone being released, no, but we do have a number of persons, I think numbering about 4 persons who are now asymptomatic. In other words, they've passed through the worst. 6 persons who are asymptomatic. So they have passed through the worst. They're not showing the signs, the coughing, the sneezing, the fever, and so on. There is a protocol for releasing these individuals, and the protocol is simple. 2 negative tests within a 48-hour period. So you do a test today. If it's negative, you wait 2 days, you do another test. If it's negative, then they are released. We have done a few tests on these individuals and they have come back positive. And as a consequence, we have to hold them. I want to ask for 10 seconds to say it's part of the dilemma that we face as it relates to a holding area, which is why we need these rooms, because the clinical theory on a person transitioning from being ill to being well is based on getting that negative test. During the asymptomatic period, when they are not showing the signs, they are termed in medical jargon to be shedding the virus, which makes them highly contagious to persons they come in contact with, even though they show no symptoms. And I'm told that that could go up to 30 days. So we have to find somewhere to house them while they are shedding so that they do not contaminate other persons. And that is why we need these transition facilities, if you will, because otherwise we have to keep them in the hospital, in isolation, which takes up the space for others who really need it to occupy. So we have these 6 persons who we will test again, I believe, in another day or 2, and we'll keep doing that until they are able to be released.
Does that also cover the airlines issue?
Oh, for the airlines, we are very careful about releasing personal information in this time. There's many legal implications around that. However, if it is assessed, if we do take a careful assessment of it and we see that this is the only option, then it may be something that we would consider. But we will not release the names just yet or right now. What we will do, however, is to release the airline, the flight numbers, and the dates that the flights have come in, and ask the public vigilance and support to help us in identifying persons who have returned to the island on the flights that we have put in, on the dates that we have announced, and who are not maintaining quarantine.
Sir, there are 2 questions that were submitted long before. I'm just seeing them concerning, is the government considering a reporting hotline for persons who know of others not observing the quarantine order, coming from the Gleaner earlier? And 18 Degrees North, Ms. Zara Burton is asking, is dizziness one of the symptoms of COVID-19. Apparently she's saying that there is some miscommunication with what is on the hotline and what she understands symptoms to be. So those are the last two questions.
Well, as it relates to whether or not we have a hotline up, yes, we do have the 8881 Love. We also have emails. It's COVID-19 at moh.gov.jm. So we would appreciate the information from the public, particularly if you were to use the email, because that doesn't have the level of congestion as the calls to the line. So just to repeat, it is COVID-19, all one word, at moh.gov.jm. And of course, if you have traveled and you are in quarantine or not, please send us that information on jamcovid19.moh.gov.jm. On that website, there is a form. Fill that out. Give us all the information so we can work with you. Let us work together in ensuring that we keep Jamaica safe and we have a strong fence around COVID to keep COVID out and to keep us safe. Minister, you want to address the question of the dizziness or maybe the...
I just want to say to members of the public that we are working out some of the kinks with the hotlines in terms of for persons to get medical attention. All right. When we define an infectious disease and we're looking at surveillance measures, then we are going to say what are the commonest symptoms. But symptoms vary in various populations. You have the elderly population who will respond differently. You have the very young who will respond differently. So if somebody is having symptoms and have a contact history, and when I say symptoms, if they're having any symptoms, and they have a contact history or a travel history, then it is important that we direct them from the hotline to speak to a doctor. So I do recognize that I have received the calls myself, and I have seen that there are some deficiencies in terms of that referral process, and I'm hoping that within the next few days we will be able to sort that out so that any persons who would be at risk of an exposure who have symptoms, we can at least have a discussion with them to speak about those symptoms and see if it is in fact relevant to COVID.
So CMO, you're saying that dizziness may be, but it is not one of the common symptoms.
It's not one of the common symptoms, but they should have a discussion with a doctor.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to sort out to make sure that anybody who's having symptoms speaks to a doctor, because it may be an elderly person who would have had that travel history or had a contact history, could maybe have a first.
All right. So dizziness by itself could not be said, would not by itself. So you'd want to look at, first of all, a contact history or a travel history or something that defines the risk of exposure. And then on top of that, any symptom would then need to be investigated. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a great pleasure. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to the media. Thanks to my team here. And again, thanks to the men and women of our health services and our security forces who literally are on the front lines of this battle. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Elbow for them, don't touch my fingertip. Oh, no, that's one. Yeah, peace, me tired. And the stream just got start, Zine, but say, you see, before me proceed, as me say, I understand, say, no matter what happens, you're going to have persons who are critical, and that is okay, you understand? But I don't know of anything in existence that is only pure negative, you understand? For me personally, I've said it before, and I did a video today speaking about how I feel about the government's response to the COVID-19 situation. I'm going to share that before I proceed. As people, it is often easy to dish out criticism. But oftentimes, when it comes to acknowledging good works and giving credit where credit is due, we often fall short. As governments around the world continue to grapple with the global pandemic that is the coronavirus, we have seen where the Jamaican government's response has been, in my opinion, first class.
Teach them! Always make sure the message I reach them!
And yes, I know, I am somebody who oftentimes give the government a hard time for corruption, crime, and the regular political folly. But I must take this opportunity to publicly say that at this moment in time, I am not only a pro-Jamaican, but I am also amazingly proud of the outstanding work that the government of Jamaica has been doing in fighting against COVID-19. Sure, the system has not been perfect. Sure, some things may have been done differently. Some things may have been done earlier. Some things may have been done with a little bit more speed. But the reality is, when you compare Jamaica's response to many countries around the world, it is first rate. And this is not just my opinion. I have seen where the Director General of the World Health Organization has publicly acknowledged the Ministry of Health and the Jamaican government for its sterling work in the fight against the spread of the coronavirus. We have seen where US Ambassador to Jamaica, Donald Tapia, has also given the government glowing recommendations for its efforts. The Miami Herald has heralded Jamaica's response as first world. They have gone as far as to say that Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Peru, and a few other nations are some of the most prepared in the world. Case in point, Jamaica currently has 26 confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus, while Cuba, with its much vaunted medical healthcare system, has 48 confirmed cases, and the Dominican Republic has over 300. And as I said before, Jamaica's response has not been foolproof. It has not been perfect, but it has been commendable, it has been creditable, and it continues to buy us time. Sure, the worst may still be yet to come, but up to this point, the government has been proactive. The government has been bold, in some cases firm, and when compared to countries around the world whose resources far outstrip Jamaica, Jamaica has been doing exceptionally well. It is also easy to say that Jamaica's healthcare system is far worse than it should be at this stage in our development. But the reality is that up to this point, only one person has died from related COVID-19 complications when compared to many first world nations. And I must also take this opportunity to say not only to the Ministry of Health led by Dr. Christopher Tufton and the Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisesa Mackenzie, but to all those persons on the front line, all nurses, all doctors, police officers, soldiers, and all other personnel who have been putting their lives at risk in order to fight against this virus. You guys have been doing an exceptional job. And as I said earlier, we may have not yet passed the worst, but the reality is that we have been making the right moves, we have been making the necessary strides, and we have bought ourselves some time. Make no mistake about it, I will always be here to call out the government, irrespective of which party forms the administration. But I can say at this point in time that credit must be given where credit is due. And despite the teething pains, despite the challenges, despite the obstacles, despite the criticisms, the government has remained steadfast. They have stuck to the task and they must be commended. It is also a moment in time when we need to look at the fact that when we are united for a single fight, Jamaicans have so much might. Yeah, peeps, that is my synopsis of the situation. Tommy Brown, I cannot speak to whether or not there have been any confirmed cases in Mobile. I don't have a breakdown parish by parish or town by town of the confirmed cases. I don't know if the Ministry of Health website provides that, but I don't know. All right. So that is my view of the situation. As I said, that is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with my opinion. Zane, and thing. So that would pay the media for this report. Oh, them alright. You understand what I say? So peeps, Yes, I'm going to move on now because we have some things to talk about and some things. Me go need corona time already. I don't have to go on that again. Yeah, I talk about CXC Sunday night. See, some important developments. CXC CXC examinations have been tentatively pushed back for July. SBA due dates have also been pushed back. See, I'll give you a breakdown of that on Sunday evening. Yeah? So I could talk about some things now, because night I come and I need to get some rest, because tomorrow I'm editing day and the interview tomorrow will probably take the entire day to be edited. Long interview. Director of Brown's Funeral Home among 5 charged in connection with stolen medical supplies from the Kingston Public Hospital. So the police have charged 5 people with simple larceny in connection with stolen medical supplies from the Kingston Public Hospital. Those charged include owner of Brown's Funeral Home, Paul Brown, and some workers at the Kingston Public Hospital. Mr. Brown's attorney, Christopher Townsend, spoke with the Nation-wide news network, and him said some things. Reports are that earlier this month, the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation branch CTOC raided Brown's Funeral Home on North Street in Kingston and found several gloves and masks. Brown's Funeral Home had denied allegations of theft after the items belonging to KPH were found locked away in their warehouse. The 5 people have also been charged with conspiracy to defraud and receiving stolen property. Yo, based on the allegations, it look like the funeral home want... Never mind. I can imagine some of the videos that will be done. Funeral home steals medical supplies to drive up business. Bombard. I mean, none of them type of video. I can't bother with that. Yeah, that's what I say. So I could talk about some things now that affect the country other than the coronavirus, because make no mistake about it, the murder situation continues unabated. See, there may be a day or two without murders, but then one day of 8 and a whole heap. You understand what I say? And thing. Taurus Millennium pistol reportedly taken from youngster in Kingston. Detectives from the Kingston Central Police Division seized a Taurus Millennium pistol fitted with a magazine containing 10 9mm rounds of ammunition on Maiden Lane in Kingston on Tuesday, March 24. The gun was reportedly found in the possession of a group of youngsters who were accosted by a police team. Reports from the Central Police are that about 6:30 a.m. a team of law enforcers were on operation in the area when 3 young males were seen acting in a manner that arose the suspicion of the law enforcers. The youngsters were accosted and searched, and the firearm was reportedly taken from one of their waistbands. The individual in whose possession the gun was reportedly found was subsequently arrested. His name is being withheld pending further investigation by the police. Here we go again, the next lane. What can I say? See? Firearm and ammunition seized in Clarendon. 5 arrested. 5 men were arrested in connection with the seizure of a firearm and several rounds of ammunition along the Lodge Main Road in Mocha, Clarendon on Wednesday. The police reported at about 10 p.m. a team was on patrol in the area when they signaled the driver of a Toyota Corolla motor car to stop. He complied and the vehicle and its occupants were searched. During the search, a Glock 17 9mm pistol containing 9 9mm rounds of ammunition was found in the engine of the car. According to the police, the 5 men were arrested. Boy. Yes, That a one case in a people. Let's see what one next case. Police stop car. 5 men found with gun. Second incident, different place. The police are reporting the arrest of 8 people following the seizure of 2 guns and several rounds of ammunition in separate incidents. I tell you about one earlier. I tell you about the next one. In the first incident, a Beretta pistol with a magazine containing 23 9mm rounds was seized in Texas Norwood, St. James. According to the police, about 5:50 p.m. a team of officers was on an operation in the area when an abandoned building was searched. The firearm and ammunition were found in a bathroom at the premises. 7 people who were at the location were arrested, but their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. In St. Catherine, the police arrested a man in connection with the seizure of a firearm and several rounds of ammunition on Plover Road in Ensom City, Spanish Town. Reports are that about 9:40 p.m. a team of police officers was on patrol in the area when the man was accosted and searched. And during a search, the 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 5 rounds was taken from his waistband. Well done to the police, because I know say right now out in the streets rough with the COVID situation, but the police them still have find some time to kind of, you know what I mean, deal with the crime. Big up on yourself. Teens among 5 charged with the murder of Mr. Raja Chang. Let me see if I can find the folder. There would be probably 242. Boom, boom, boom. Bye, bye. Boom, so. Yeah. So this is Mr. Raja Chang. So teens among 5 charged in connection. Rated. I used to live there. With the murder of businessman Raja Chang. Detectives from the St. Mary Division have charged 5 persons in connection with the murder of businessman Raja Chang. Charged are Kadisha Mackenzie, 23 years old, of a Kingston 11 address. Zane. Seabert Dugan, 60 years old, a mechanic of Enfield, St. Mary. And 3 teenagers, 2 16-year-old and a 17-year-old, all of Enfield in St. Mary. They have been 16, 2 16, 1 17. They have been charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder, illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition, possession of criminal property, and benefiting from criminal property. Mackenzie and one of the 16-year-old boys were also charged with simple larceny and unauthorized access to computer data. Chang's body was found along a shoreline in Dover, St. Mary on Sunday, the 15th of March, with several stab wounds a day after he went missing. The court dates of the accused persons are being finalized. Wow. Wow. 216 and 117. Yeah. Brother kills brother. Uncle kills nephew. It sound like that song. Brother kill brother. Uncle kill nephew. I be a madness. Yeah, hear me, I tell you. Brother kills brother. Uncle kills nephew. As 8 more murders are recorded in the last 24 hours. And the 60-year-old man, mechanic. Him good as, no, I don't know, but them couldn't find the man vehicle. I don't know what kind of vehicle, but you know what I think. See it? And them things. In the period following the announcement that Jamaica has recorded its first positive test for the coronavirus, there were no more than why may I read it? Like me I read the wrong thing. See? Boom, 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 bye, bye. Yeah, man, this look about right, man, because so in the period following the announcement that Jamaica had recorded its first positive test for the novel coronavirus, there were no more murders across the island in 24 hours, sparking hope that the criminals had gone into hiding. But since then, the bloodletting has resumed with a vengeance, with at least 16 murders recorded by the police in the past 48 hours. 16 murders in a 48 hours. Following reports of 8 murders in 24-hour period between Sunday morning and Monday morning to start this week, there were 8 more murders yesterday. These include an incident where a man is alleged to have bludgeoned his brother to death, and an uncle is the main suspect in the fatal shooting of his nephew. Teach, send it to... The killings on Sunday included listen to peeps. One brother kill him brother. One uncle kill him nephew. I bear my this. When you hear me, I tell you. The killings on Sunday included a triple murder on McKinley Crescent in South St. Andrew, where a state of emergency is in place. One on Barnett Street and the other in Flanker St. James. Two in White House, Westmoreland, and one on Beeston Street in Central Kingston. Yesterday, 33-year-old Demar Gordon was fatally shot in the Lime Tree Crescent area of Flanker in what is believed to be a reprisal for the shooting on Sunday, while 3 people were killed in separate incidents in the St. Andrew South Police Division. 3 people were also shot in 2 other incidents in the violence-plagued St. Andrew South Police Division yesterday. They have since been hospitalized. Over in Point Hill, St. Catherine, 22-year-old Damar Christie was fatally shot, allegedly by his uncle, while an unidentified man was killed almost in front of a church on East Queen Street in downtown Kingston. In Ramble, Hanover, 57-year-old farmer Dalton Shippey was bludgeoned to death with a sledgehammer, allegedly by his brother, who has been taken into custody by the police. Westmoreland also recorded another murder. I'm confused, right? Now, let's read. Zine, yesterday, this time at a bar in Savannah, Lamar. We don't hear say bar enough for open. You understand? That victim has been identified as Cashwayne Bennett, a 19-year-old bartender who was shot in that incident. I don't think but it done. Just a come. Hat we coming in at. Hat we coming in at. Yo. But I don't know. You have a sing to tune for cover for this sadness, because 2 killed in Darliston. Them not in a what me just call in a boy 16 people me just call in. Zane, Ryan Leng, big up yourself, family. 2 people were shot dead in the community of Darliston, Westmoreland last night. Maybe I go on some more info upon what talk about local thing already. Police reports are at about 7 p.m. Rohani Watson, alias Bungles, a business operator, and Swain Dobson, a farmer of Kilmarnock, were shot while at a car wash owned by Watson. According to persons claiming to be witnesses, the deceased men were part of a group at the car wash when they were pounced upon by a gunman who opened fire on them. Watson, Dobson, and one other person were hit. Watson succumbed to his injuries while being transported to the Savannah Lamar Hospital, while Dobson reportedly died on the spot. The other victim has been hospitalized in serious condition, and no motive has been established for the shooting. Police are investigate. You understand? 100 accused in Pembroke Hall gun beating. 33-year-old Andre Hart, otherwise called 100. Of a Pembroke Hall Kingston 20 address has been charged with several offences following from an attack on a man on Ken Drive in the parish on Monday the 14th of October 2019. Hart was charged on Monday, March 24, with wounding with intent, assault at common law, and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. Yes, what go on. According to the police, the accused was arrested after a complaint was made that he used a firearm to inflict wounds to a man's head. He was charged following a question and answer session. You know say I be things are going on a flanker. You understand? Look like flanker needs some military tanker. Zane, flankers on a 96-hour lockdown and security forces are now targeting gangsters and guns. You all like headline them sound like a song. You understand? The St. James community of flankers, which has recorded 2 murders recently, is now under a 96-hour lockdown. But remember me telling you them kills somebody there yesterday, you know. Zane, as the military and the police are now conducting house-to-house searches for illegal guns and house-to-house can't lose, you know. The operation commenced on Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're done. You understand? So the community, which has been rocked by simmering tension between rival factions, exploded into violence on Sunday when gunmen killed a 9-year-old boy and injured the daughter of dancehall artist Tommy Lee. In what was believed to be a reprisal on Monday, gunmen stormed the community, shooting and killing a man who to date has only been identified as Eggy. In the first of the two shooting incidents, which was reportedly sparked by a quarrel shortly after 5 p.m. on Sunday, men exited a car and fired on residents who had converged near a shop. 5 persons, including Lance J. Sterling and Tommy Lee Sparta's 6-year-old daughter, were hit. Sterling subsequently died from the injuries he sustained. Following the shooting, the police released a statement calling for Martino Kelly, also called Tino, and a man known as Bobo, both of Lime Tree section in Flanker, who they believe have information on the shooting to turn themselves in. See? And them things. Whoa. Things set away. Cop and soldier shot during exchange with gunmen in Lower St. Andrew. I mean, me da woman now. I see the stories them, but I couldn't bother with the whole of murder and shooting business. So I never bother doing a video upon them. You understand? And I say, you have channels out there where, as an article, drop them do a video. That's for them thing. You understand? I said, some people break the news, me break into the news. So if it interests me, I do some research and do a video. If it don't interest me, I just make it stay. You understand? I can't bother with the murder business every day. You see? So I prefer to upload no video more time than do a murder video. Because I just can't bother with it. Yeah, there was a time when I just do them video, they just do them video to see if we get some views and probably make $1. But right now, it mentally draining family. You understand? Peter means a good morning. At 11 o'clock, at 12 o'clock, we're there, brother. Yeah, no start. Zane? So you know, a policeman and a soldier were shot and injured by a gunman during an operation in the corporate area on Tuesday evening. Reports are that about 6 p.m., a joint police military team responded to shots being fired at Barnes Avenue in Lower St. Andrew. And on their arrival, the body of a male was seen lying on the ground in a pool of blood. While at the scene, shots were heard on the nearby Crescent Road and the law enforcers responded. On their arrival at the second location, the security team came under gunfire and returned the fire. At the end of the exchange, a policeman was shot and injured to a leg, and the soldier was also injured from gunfire. Me talk about that already in a Gregory White. Enough time me cuss about that, you know. But I mean, I tell you. Woman shoots spouse during argument at Kingston apartment. That little story, I'll me confused, but you're going to try to put some perspective in it. The police have charged a 27-year-old woman for wounding with, not this one next one, for wounding with intent and illegal possession of a firearm following an incident at premises in Oakland apartment complex in Kingston. Yo, some things can go on in Oakland, you see. A release from the corporate communications unit, the police information arm, said the woman identified as Vivia Martin allegedly shot her spouse during a dispute on Wednesday, March 4th. Martin and her spouse had a heated argument, and she reportedly used a licensed Zig Sawyer 9mm pistol to shoot him in the leg, the police release said. A report was made and she was arrested and charged. Police said a court date for the woman is being finalized. Boy, she shoot him in her leg. I have to give thanks because she could have shoot him in her head. You understand? And then he would have probably end up dead. You see? So we still have to give thanks. I could have seen him teach her to shoot, you know, and so I go on. Woman shot by a cop after attacking officer, says the police. So this is where one look at thing go on, you know. You know, listen dance, you know. I tell you, say, you know. But I tell you, a woman is now hospitalized after being shot by a police officer. She had allegedly attacked in Kingston on Monday. Open her fall, you know. Reports are that about 7:20 p.m., the policeman was at the Foster Lane home. You know what kind of Foster? Foster Lane home of his common-law wife when she was attacked and stabbed by a female and her teenage daughter. The policeman reportedly intervened and attempted to quell the dispute when he was stabbed. He discharged his firearm, and the elder attacker received gunshot injuries. The information arm of the Jamaica Constabulary Force said in a statement on Tuesday. She was taken to hospital where she was treated and admitted in stable condition. The police said, adding that the injured cop was treated for his injury and released. The police officer reportedly went to the Gold Street police station where he made a formal report of the shooting incident. The matter is being investigated by the Gold Street police, the JCF, IPROB, one long name, and Indicom. Now, watch this now. The police also refuted an earlier media report claiming that a police constable shot his common law wife during a domestic dispute. The story is a complete misrepresentation of what took place, the JCF said. Hold on this now. Hold on now. The JCF contradicts its incident report that the cop shot common law wife. Let's see mix up. You want to go on and fix up. The communication arm of the Jamaica Constabulary Force has released a statement contradicting a police incident report that a constable shot and injured his common law wife during a domestic dispute in Kingston last night. Them time there. As I said, the incident report prepared by the Police Emergency Communication Center, which contained the original allegations, covered the period 5:45 a.m. Monday, March 23 to 5:45 a.m. on Tuesday, March 24. Me confused. Name retracted. 33-year-old, date of birth, the 22nd of the 12th, 1987, at 44 Foster Lane, Kingston, was shot and injured by her boyfriend, a police constable, during a dispute. In the common you were informed. See? Alright. However, in a statement on next day, the police corporate communications unit said there was no dispute between the constable and his common law wife, and that she was shot. Instead, it said that 7:20 p.m. on Monday, both constable and his common law wife were attacked, as I said earlier. So right now, I say, is who tell the truth? That me want to find out what really are going, because I will if I look at things. I can't bother. I'm tired. See? So I could move on, because I just share that I'm confused, so all who know good as confused. Man's body found with multiple wounds at his St. Thomas home. So a probe has been launched into the murder of a man who was found with multiple wounds inside his house in Captureland C4 in St. Thomas on Tuesday. The deceased has been identified as 23-year-old Ricardo Smith, alias Prince. Reports are that about 5:45 p.m., a relative went to visit Smith at the latter's house, and the body was found lying in a pool of blood with what appeared to be gunshot and stab wounds. The police were alerted, and following the processing of the scene, the body was removed to the morgue. A post-mortem examination is to be conducted at a later date. See? St. James Ziegler charged with murder. Detectives from the Anchovy police station on Monday. Sorry guys, but no, it's kind of, yeah, but me watch me on them still. Charged a man in relation to the death of 58-year-old Lenford Burchell, a farmer of Montego Hills in St. James. So, charged with murder is 33-year-old Davian Grant, otherwise called Derby, a higgler of Blue Hole in Mount Pelion in the parish. The police say Burchell was shot and killed about 5 p.m. in Blue Hole on Saturday, June 29, 2019. Grant was later fingered in the incident and subsequently arrested and charged. His court date is being finalized. Zane? West Kingston man gunned down. A man was shot and killed by unknown assailants on Church Street. We mentioned it earlier, but we are getting details, you know. Zane? The deceased has been identified as Andrew Daly, 26, of an Elgin Street address in West Kingston. Reports are that Daly was walking along Church Street in the vicinity of East Parade about 12 p.m. when gunmen pounced and shot him multiple times. He was taken to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, so I could talk about some other things before we go with it. We know the situation with Elephant Man. He allegedly made false declaration to immigration officials at the Sanctus International Airport about 2 Tuesdays ago after he returned to the island. He said he chose voluntary self-quarantine at home and he was in quarantine, but apparently that may not have been true. He also released a series of apologies via social media and mainstream media. However, Elephant Man has been placed in government quarantine and he has been charged for breaches of the Immigrations Act. He is scheduled to appear in court on the 15th of April. But the reality is that based on my understanding and research, the fine that Elephant Man is facing is $100. Similar to the fine that Tesha Miller paid when he was charged for making false declaration. Yeah. So, should Elephant Man be found? What you mean, Kofi? What you mean if a $100 bill? The bills. $98, $99, $100. You understand? So that was the same fine levied against Tesha Miller in 2017. Yeah. April 2017. That is almost 3 years now. And there was so much talk and chatter within the political directorate to amend said law because they felt embarrassed. Zine, and up to now, as far as I know, it is still the situation. And then now, when me talk about certain things, you hear say me a troublemaker, and you hear say me a what? Me a PNP. Yo, me tell them, it no matter which guy from the government, if you not do folly, teacher go beat to do. You understand? So, me see, politicians at parliament, the only thing left for them doing at parliament is fling stone or shoot them one another. You understand? When all them simple need for do is table the bill, then debate it if them need for debate it and amend the bill. Then how can you in 2,900 can a man go to court after immigration would then do things and the police them do things and taxpayers' money would have been spent to get the matter through the court system? Zine. And then now the fine that you are going to levy against the accused is far less than the money that would have been spent to get the matter to court. Then you don't see a joke. So I don't know if work is being done now to get that adjusted or addressed. But I promise you that as it stands now, the fine for false declaration to immigration is $100 Jamaican. Kofi say maybe 100 if it's bills. Yeah? So I can watch and see what I go on still. Because and this is what I always say, you know. We spend a lot of time as people. I always try to reach some people and explain to them some things. But you can't talk to some people sometimes, you know. Because people just don't listen. They are so emotive and emotional than them thing. And them dark and them no business and them must see things one way. It is foolhardy most of the time to criticize the police, to criticize the judges, to criticize the DPP. They are simple creatures of the judiciary. They don't make the laws. They simply operate within the confines of the laws that are on the books as per the constitution of the country. So when a man get charged and he go to court and he have to walk because of some folly, Zine, when the DPP have to put out a case because of some folly, when a judge can only sentence a man to $100 Jamaican dollar because of some archaic and antiquated law. And me I say more time we need to understand so the judges, their hands are handcuffed. The handcuffs on the judges them more time tighter than the one them on the criminals. The police, their hands are tight sometimes. The DPP's hands are tied most of the times because of the laws of the land. They don't formulate these laws. Our politicians formulate these laws. The same man them go in a parliament, go tell man to meet them out the door. You understand? And I know one man tell man that, you know, Darrell Vaz tell Dayton Campbell that Me say Peter Phillips tell Smaddy that one next time. I will meet me out to do if you think about it. See? Yo, I joke thing. You understand what I say? The amount of time when man them waste a parliament to cuss them one another, most of the laws them could have fix. And as me try to explain to people something, and then people say, teacher defend the DPP. Me not defend the DPP, but we are be unfair. The DPP does not make the laws. The DPP operates within the confines of the laws. The politicians formulate laws. The judiciary, which is made up of judges and prosecutors and lawyers, operate within the confines of the laws as are set out by politicians. You see, politicians are just up in orange and green, and just up with dog them in orange and green, and jump up and bust up and drop off and broke with neck, seeing and wind up in a road and shake bell and beat pot cover, sort of crap. And them are the problem. But nobody now remember that when them favorite artists involved, or them feel aggrieved because one case not go how them think it shouldn't go. Remember me always telling you the court of public opinion and the court of law are two different things. See? So we try a man and find him guilty. But within the auspices of the laws, there are technicalities where means even though a man might be acquitted, it don't mean say him innocent, you know. It just means under the law, as per the laws that exist, them couldn't convict him. And as I saying in the video, I now say strides have not been made within the justice system in recent times, but enough not make. That is what me I say. See? Then what you think a man a go do if a man knows say, yo, if him tell one lie, $100 and him good. Then when you are 10 days in prison, $10 per day. Yeah, joke sitting. Let me move on still. No, so that early. Bad boy Trevor. Turn mad boy Trevor. Think him smooth and think him clever. He has apologized for his error in judgment as per his thing. Me never edit the video for his stretch. It will have some black bar. But yeah, what go on. This is what a man have to say, yeah, man. Cause he man have a story too. Then what? Yeah, all of the man story teach. Where him name? There's somewhere around there. So I said me can't find the video. Yeah. See, I'm a man telling you say, me nah care about the story. So this is what a man I say. Me have where they or another folder there. So me have to go search it. Boom. Well on the peeps. This is what the man have to say. A man speak for himself. It up on my desktop though. Where folder there. And I just cite it. Yeah, I can't find it, man. But I make it turn. Yeah, son. I make it stay. Next thing. Zine, but basically, bad boy Trevor say, I'm sorry, yeah, sir. But the long and short of the story, he's out on $100,000 bail. Zine, him and him co-accused 22-year-old Kenil Smith. They have been charged with breaches of the Disaster Risk Management Act, breaches of the Noise Abatement Act, breaches of the Emergency Powers Act, and also breaches of the Spirit License Act. I don't know what kind of fine them breaches they attract. However, Trevor said he will be representing himself in court. Zine? And him say I'm sorry for everything, and right now he's an advocate for the COVID fight and all of them something, and him big up the police them and the whole works. You understand what I say? So that is the situation. No, I'm going to adjust a little thing, and before I adjust it, I'm going to talk to some people. Zine, I'm going to tell you this. First thing first, no man no really feed teach. Me work for my money. You understand? So I not run back on a man for not $3,000. Zine, and here next thing. Because someone not even know how a channel thing work, that channel I work, and then you come and talk off of the mouth. You see, before me do any video, and mark you, I get it wrong sometimes. But 99% of the time when I do a video, I can stand by that video. Because I would have made sure I am able to verify or to quote sources that the information, credible sources that the information originates from. But that's why I couldn't know that. You understand? Alright. I also understand that whether in a real life or upon social media, you have some 3 grand follower. See it? Some man who in a real life, if them call to some artist, the artist them diss them. But yet still some man willing to diss you for some man when you even know them. See it? I'm going to tell you this here. No. Tell you this. Understand, say, when you come on that channel, I want 2 things. It's either me go run your way or I not see you. So whichever way, I waste your time. You understand? I have been doing this YouTube thing long enough for know so when I touch certain topic, when I touch certain topic, you go hurt some man. It's like, yo, in a Jamaica, we say we don't love man, but we really love man, you know. Let me tell you, man. In a Jamaica, we love man. Because you have some people who kill you. Zine, because you say something about a man. Them and the man are not family, you know. Him and them not as merciless, so me not know him from a hole in the wall. Them man them not know them from a hole in the wall, you know. And yet still, them and Mark, you know, it's not like me do videos where in another video them I tell you my personal opinion on the thing, you know. See? Well, so I take off a glass about this increase. And I like me I share no opinion in no video now. All I am simple doing is presenting the information. I'm going to say this now. And remember, you know, we not care who vex. We not care who vex. Watch me now. Some man for go away. Some man are going like say, Kartel a feed them. Fam, Kartel no feed me. And when me do a video, I am doing a video with the information that is out there. I ain't not going a video go tell us say, yo, you know say Kartel go live and this happen and that happen. That not me no business with that. All I simple do is to do a video. Him and them a behave like Kartel a God. When? Where? Kartel am a DJ, but God where? And some of them fool, some of them even know say, yo, other than Rodney Bounty Killer Price and Jeffrey Campbell OC, Agent Sasko, Kartel am a DJ upon a lyrical level. Lyrically, musically, Kartel am a DJ. What Kartel doing in personal life, me not agree with no fight. You understand what I say? So some of the man them so dark. Them can't even realize say a man like me now, when I really business with a man, I go come and share the information, even though musically, me appreciate the DJ. Because some man from them say, Kartel, it no matter what Kartel do, Kartel are still them God. Kartel are not God, me dan. What you mean? Bounty Killer are not God. You know how much time I beat Bounty Killer right here, sir? Because it no matter who you be, if me feel like you're wrong, me go tell you say you're wrong, fam. You feel what me I say? No, me sit down and watch some comments, you know. And me I say, yo, in a real life, I me say right now, you know, me no business who vex, you know. In a real life, somehow we are idiot. I'm gonna tell you why somehow we are idiot. Some of the comments them basically I tell the government, Lord the man, Lord this, them a fight the man, them a fight this, people are informer, all people if be informer, and none of them did upon life. Because some man want to call you down when they come on to Kartel, you know. And that me realize. Nobody enough to talk about Kartel if them not say Kartel are the greatest thing since Martin Luther King. I own a man. So here what I go on now. You see when I do a video with Vybz Kartel naming it, I want 2 things. Is either you choose to watch it or you not choose to watch it, brother. I never go in a video or tell nobody how me feel about nothing. All I simply did was to share the information. The information came out in 2 pieces. The first piece of information says there is developing news in relation to the fact that Vybz Kartel's cell was being searched because it is being alleged that he went live on Instagram on Thursday night. Video number 1. I got clips of the alleged incident and I shared it. Fine. See? Some people are saying, I know, because I couldn't carry zoo. See? I do the video. The second video, the news further developed. Say after the cell was searched, a cell phone was found in his cell and 2 found in cells close by. See? And hold on now, you know. Hold on there. Boom. I've said this before and I'll say it again. When it comes on to news, there's a gentleman who works on Nationwide by the name of Apka Fitz-Henley. If Apka Fitz-Henley say is A, it cannot be B. May I say that again? If Apka Fitz-Henley says A, then it cannot be B. Alright? I want to see this in them. I should have probably share my phone screen, but I can't bother with that now. See? See the post here for Apka Fitz-Henley page. Watch this now. It says, update. Statement from Department of Corrections following search of Kartel's cell. The department says contraband was found and removed. Kartel is awaiting word on his appeal. And it goes on to say, 1 phone found in his cell. 2 phones found in the cell of other inmates. See it right there, see you know. Abka go on to say even more. 1 mobile phone was reportedly found this morning in the prison cell of incarcerated dancehall star Vybz Kartel. 2 phones seized from other inmates. Now, man, I got come and I said, teach them who I make the message, reach them, who when it come on to him job, him not have no friend. Not do that, family. But you tell me, say, hello, you're artist. But you tell me, say, you don't really want me talk about your artist, so you can't tell me neither. But now come tell me, say, me I give people fake news. Because that are some fake views. And the fight that you are going to lose. So you better you just go and cruise and move. You understand me? I say, not do that something, man. See? When you accuse my credibility, you know, then me will get dark like. See? Not do that. Because that is why, you know, I will sit down and I will wait 2 or 3 days before me do a video just to make sure so me have the right information. If I want view the video get after me do it because the heat gone, me no business. So when a guy I go say I work, see? And I come say some folly, me not take that lightly. See, because I don't know about no money, no, but me I talk about myself. When it come on to my work, I take that seriously because your word is your bond, brother. And we build a little reputation for provide the thing with accuracy. We don't play with that. So I would never come on here so come say a cell phone was found in the artist's cell if I couldn't verify that or verify a source where the info come from. Now, man, some of them have to run them when I call me, man, because more time, through the years, so he's a local teacher. We probably just up in a shirt and tie guy work. Them feel like a some press button thing to you know, brother. We don't want a guy get it twisted, man. You understand? We know inside badness or violence, you know. But nobody feel like say, yo, or some push over something this, man. I don't know what I do, man. Know what I'm not doing. Zane? Yo. On a love man. Cause I must love on a love man. You understand what I say? Some man now defend them mother and them sister and them woman or them defend the man family. See? Someone of a go, man. Oh, to no have fun, brother. Right now, man. I'm not even start talk about how me feel about the situation there yet, you know. I'm telling you this, man. I remember back in the days, you know, because when we talk, we not care, you know. Back in the days, when Kartel was transferred from Horizon to GP, I did a video say, Vybz Kartel is responsible for his own transfer. You know why? Because at the time, Vybz Kartel Instagram account was more active than Fimi. I'm there, road. I say it in the video. I did it on camera. I never did hide. So I'm tired of on Vybz Kartel folly, man. Someone of a go, man. See me? I come correct someone tonight, man. I won't do vex. I don't want unsubscribe to. Because someone will waste a space there, you know. You understand? Because someone we only soon when Kartel video do. Not really valuable to my channel like that neither. Someone me can do it out to the brother. The reality that. Somebody run come over here, so come Ray. Once a year, man. See? And when you come over here, so you come accuse about of fake news, we don't do that something there, brother. So get your facts right, man. You see? So them need somebody to correct them peeps. So I know someone has to teach. Nobody on a Jordan charm out, you know. But them need somebody to correct them because them not have sense. Yeah, some people all want war with people in their comments because I'm gonna share him opinion. Eh? Me tell them already, me tell them again, since me start the channel, over 20,000 people unsubscribe from this, you know, for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, me not lose a sleep over that. Me still have 150,000 people, brother. Because people touches, you know. You and them when you come along good, you know. Zine, and you say one thing, and you should have never said that. What you mean, I should have never said that? So I not stop nobody from express them view. Zine. But understand, so when you express your view, you have to do that with respect over here, man. No one do, man. And when I say, you know the worst thing about it, me say, some of them, if them see the artist are road, them can't even heal the artist, yo. And them would have kill you. For a man would even know so them exist. I'm telling you, you know, I realize with Kartel fans them. Kartel fans them are one of two people. It's either somebody with highly intelligent or somebody with just fool. You know, in between, you know, it's either somebody will appreciate the musical artistry of the man and the musical ingenuity of the man, or some really idiot. So I'm come for correct on tonight, man. You understand? A man, them a group, man, 3 grand follower, man. And that's a Kartel fan base, you know. Is either you're very intelligent and you appreciate the musical aspect of the man, or you don't so and nothing else no matter to you from a Kartel, it no matter. Many of my friends, colleagues, educated people are fans of Kartel's music. And you'd never hear them in a no man in a confrontation about Kartel. Them just appreciate the music. But yeah, some people, brother. Yo. If you spell cartel with a C instead of a K, you're dead. If you say cartel, black and them think him white, you're dead. If them say cartel are the greatest and you say no, you're dead. You're not so an idiot, man. Eh? You better not avoid my channel, man. You better not avoid me. And you know the funniest thing about it? You know, I doubt very highly that Vybz Kartel would be supportive of the way some people behave in defense of him. No. One next time if me feel like, me telling you me think about it. Me not feel like me not talk about it. You understand? Because this is not a Vybz Kartel channel. I'm gonna get that now on the head. You understand? I'm a DJ upon a lyrical level. You understand? But apart from that, we don't have no affinity to the thing. We not loyal to no man like that, man. You understand what I say? A woman will loyal to man. You see? Me defend Tanya Stephens and them people that them hear them. And even Tanya them are different like that. If Tanya around me do video I cuss Tanya Stephens already. A woman, man. If me do video upon this and rough up bounty kill, a woman and rough up on this. I'm a mad man. I'm a massive fool. Yo. Yeah, me I say, man. I don't know how to do that. You see it? Who now come and say, yo, we feel this way about the artist and the artist never do that and him did. We never say nothing, brother. All we do is share the info. Eh? Man, I say, yo, the comment, man, I say, yo, teacher boy, you can't find something sensible talk about and stop talk about it. You know, so now idiot, man. Yo, me don't know. What me say, peeps, if me go to bed tonight, I not talk to them fools, man. I tell me, I no sleep. Eh? I know yesterday I told them and I checked me about blow Vybz Kartel and left Vybz Kartel out there, dirty him out there. You know, idiot, man. Eh? Scott Kartel would have never look at someone twice, brother. I'm telling you this, man. You say if Kartel turn Christian tomorrow, 3/4 of Jamaica baptized. I'm not fool like. This is an article. Big up yourself, the person just dislike the stream. You're a fool like. Mobile phone report. I mean, know some people are going to subscribe after tonight, you know, but that is okay. That's fine. It's not a problem again, as me say. Teach them will still be here. Yeah, so I mean, I couldn't care less. Because the reality is that when the video them go up, if me have 150,000 subscribers, I should have about 50,000 watch per every video. So someone really do on the channel, in all honesty. Talk the truth. Yeah, every video now gonna be for everybody and people busy and thing. But you have a channel with 150,000 people. And you do a video and 5,000 people are watching. Then it don't make no sense. You understand? Mobile phone reportedly found in the prison cell of incarcerated dancehall entertainer Vybz Kartel. Nationwide news. NATIONWIDENEWS. Nationwide news understands that a mobile phone was allegedly found this morning, the 28th of March 2020, in the prison CELL of incarcerated dancehall entertainer Vybz Kartel. Calculate me spell it out for someone. Kartel has been trending on social media since last night. Commissioner of Corrections, retired Lieutenant Colonel Gary Rowe, say them a do some investigation. Zin? And thing. You understand? So, there they go on. So, see there, authorities have confirmed that one phone was found in his cell. 2 phones were found during the search of other cells. Oh, please, I'm going to wrap up the stream now, because it's late. See, I know ESP did ask something earlier about the stock market. The stock market has been struggling just like all of the stock markets around the world in light of the coronavirus situation. Zane, you owe me do the stock market now, because you know I kind of have one little portfolio where did I go on with a little thing, but then everything kind of came, you know what I mean, tumbling. Zane, stock roundup, 49 stocks advance. A good, a positive development that. God is good. 25 decline, that's rough. And 6 traded firm. So the Jamaica Stock Exchange combined index ended the week up on Friday with an advanced decline ratio of 49 to 25. Zane, long story short. Zane, overall market activity, you have 80 stocks trading, 49 advancing, 25 declining, and 6 trading firm. Winners include Indies Pharma, up by 28.95%, closing at $1.96. T-Tech Limited, up by 20.86%, closing at $4.23. And one company may have a kind of win, and a Nutsford Express. I mean, one of them boss. Nutsford Express, up 17.25%, trading at $7. But the reality is that when we buy Nutsford, we buy it for about $10 mash. So we still lose whole heap after that. But we're not worried. Main event, up by 16.88%, closing at $4.50. Medical disposable, this is not surprising. So in this pharma and medical disposable, that's not surprising. See? Because the things that they distribute would be in high demand. So naturally they would be trading higher. See? Them close at $6.53. But we don't know what them did that trade for before this. So the losers include a lot of people. Supreme Ventures, yeah, me lose this because I have some shares in a Supreme Ventures too. Everything Fresh, them lose. Caribbean Flavors, them lose. CAC 2000, them lose. And Portland JSX, them lose as well. Zane, volume leaders were Trans Jamaica. You know, Trans Jamaica was sold for $1.44. It started trading for $1.02, I think, about 16% down. And there was massive hysteria. People are running up and down and sell them shares. Peeps. Instead of selling your shares, this is the time that you need to purchase shares. When them cheap. You understand? Eventually, it might take a year, it might take 2 years, it might take 5 years. First thing, the stock market a long-term investment. You understand what I say? A long-term investment. Just as I start my little portfolio, here comes Corona. Boom! My luck, boy, it catch me too still. But watch out now. Zane? The reality is that the stock market will rebound. Jamaica stock market has been one of the best performing stock market. Today, 27, that day they were married. Big up yourself. Zane? And thing, so, I did buy some shares in a Trans Jamaica. I think I bought, I don't remember, I did spend 100 grand initially. I think I did get about 78,000 shares. And I did want to buy the rest at 22. But then, you all the drop out and then, you know, we have to deal with funeral and thing. I never get back around to that. So, probably need to buy them now because them they don't so. See? And thing. So, I look on the stock market recently. Yes, and we need to liquefy some things and do some things. But peeps, the people that have Jamaica stock price is like elephant, man. Find it at a good time to buy. But I think you know the best time to buy selling SSP in all honesty. I mean it's no expert. See? Rebound when eventually. See, it never rebound after 9/11. Just think about it. Jamaica stock market has been one of the most consistent stock markets since 9/11. It rebounded. So the rebound no must be tomorrow. You know, so all the simple do if you have stocks, you hold them, you not sell them. Because invariably, them are going to increase value again. You understand? As I say, me is no expert in them. As I talk about layman analysis now. But for me, I now sell a share out of my portfolio. Zine, and you know my portfolio have eventually is all long again. But me I say, brother, me I talk for me still. Zine, say if you have stock now and you want to go sell them, then you sell them because I mean you are going to lose. Zine, I go and hold on to mine them and event. Look, I never invest in a stock market for a quick turnover. I invest in a stock market for a long-term thing. You understand what I say? And thing. Me not try build cash flow, me I try build wealth. Zine? So, all good investors will tell us that now is probably the best time to buy because you will probably never get the stocks cheaper than they are selling trading for now. Some people, look, the stock market is not for the faint of heart. You understand? If you're coward, it don't make no sense. See? And you have to know say you will lose, just like any investment. You will lose it. You understand? So at the end of the day still, I just go and hold on for my things them still. So I'm telling them my portfolio, I believe remember them in my head now. Wicton, Barita, NCB, Wesinco, Carreras, Supreme Ventures, Nuts for the Express, Sagicor, Select Fund, I think. Trans Jamaica. I got more than I just remember them, you know. I have a couple more still. Zine and thing. And the portfolio did go on with a thing. You understand? Was turning into a king. But then came the corona thing and it just swing. But eventually, you know what I mean? It reaches us still. Oh, you can sell now. Spare loss in the drop, then buy. Nah, man, I not sell nothing, brother. You understand? Do you look into Fresco gas station where and the stock market though? No. Me not want. No, sir. They start there. You know. See it? Yeah, me not buy no stocks when I stack up in grid. We buy stocks so we know say been performing and them something there. See? And thing. I want a piece of Panjam. See? And probably Scotia. I always eye Carib Cement and Wharf. But Carib Cement kind of been not perform recently and Wharf kind of not perform. So, I don't know. But them company, they make money every year. You know? So, and you know, construction are go on, Zine and thing and all sort of things. So, I don't even know. But me I go and watch it still. You understand? Oh, me probably want a piece of Grace as well. I don't want more than 12, 14 stocks, 15 the most. No release it. Oh, I don't know any team member. I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't been following the stock market. I'm not even looking at my portfolio since all the week that what them name? Trans Jamaica listed neither. See, let me take a look in it and tell you no. Gonna a pre. Nah, showing nothing else I tell you no. Because when I could feel like say me, I couldn't say on my thing. Then me not fool like that. See, no hold on there. Scotia drop 50 out of 30. Everything I drop in a team member. But me I tell you, so now the best time for buy Scotia, brother. Imagine you buy it now for $30 instead of $50 last time. Then you don't think I know the best time. But let's buy a piece of it and like how it drop so big. You understand? It's just that I'm probably braver than some honest still. Hey, I'm not brave. Good stock marketing for teach them. You know what thing go? What was the a sign-in process is long up though. Alright. Information. Account info. Alright. Yeah. So Barita trade for $50.68. So when I buy about $70, I buy it for. So you know one major loss that. Carrera $6 something, I buy it at $8 sitting it a trade for. JMMB, when I buy I think at $38 sitting and did a trade for $48. Kingston, no, not for the Express, $7 sitting. I think I spend $10 for one. Meal pack, I remember I think about $1 I buy one for $1.46. NCB, when I buy NCB about $170, they're $131 now. Sagicor manufacturing, the one there. I think when I buy about dollar mash, it now 56 cents. About Supreme Venture, $12 sitting. I think when I buy Supreme Venture, there $20. Wow. Trans Jamaica, see in $1.44 pay for it, $1.30 now. Wickton, you know, we buy for 50 cents, it go up to $1.63 now. Westinco, we buy for $20, $13, you know. So a major loss that. At the end of the day, I not sell none of them. See, I go and wait it out. You understand? Because the sun must come out again, you know. See, I'm selling now a big loss. And I could have sold like a few months ago, but no, let me not worry my head. You understand? How low then can go? And then eventually then go and come back. There will be life after this coronavirus thing, you know. There was life after all major things around the world. There was life after World War II. You understand? So, you know, I think, peeps, big up on yourself. I got my bed. But don't cost people tonight. So that's the stock market situation. I not tell nobody if you go buy in a stock, you know. I'm just telling you what I go on. I'm just telling you how me I deal with it. I not sell none of my stock them. See? And I probably go and buy a few more. You understand? Because right now I need my trolley. You understand? Go through the alley and pick up a little thing and go on. Peeps, big up on yourself. I saw on a Sunday evening, but I saw on a Sunday night day. For them call it Sunday service. Me call it artist interview premiere. So tomorrow will be my editing day. I don't know. For some strange reason, I always sit down and wait till Saturday to start edit the interview with them. Then it take me all day. See, so therefore do tomorrow. Probably Bob Andy, the great Bob. Oh, John. Yo, you know what that's nice? If me did get to interview Bob before him drop out. But that just works. You understand? So Bob Andy has died. I have not done a video as yet. I probably do a thing in the morning. Peter me I say Marcia Griffiths. Romari I say Tanya Stevens. Sort of things. Peace, big up on yourself. My question now. So interview Sunday. One of the legendary females in the entertainment industry. One of the heavyweight females. Probably not as highly rated as she should be, but she would have done amazing work down the years and work with some amazing people and done some amazing things. So watch out for that. Zane, I do the interview marathon. Some people, Dante there from the start, he done it. Me probably just see before Dante. You understand? 15 hours. Right through. Not enough people named it still, but people like Ingrid, remember them people, the Supersonic Mark, Miss Joan, the Oxygen, whole lot of people pass through. You understand? I know some people did their work and them something like team members say Etana. I could say I gonna I know tell you know who. Danny wanna go on, let me see world class. See? And thing. Queen Marcia. So Bob on the past, I will possibly do a video in the morning before me start edit on the great Bob Andy. You understand? It's a pity me never get to document Sir Andy's story before him transition. Seeing one of the man who set the thing, help set the thing and thing. Yeah, Miss Donna Johnson was there as well. Quite a few people was there, man, but them go and come. And some never come. You understand? Peace, big up on yourself. Tonight was a ranting night. A long time in a rant. You understand? But we didn't even fix some people, man, and get some things straight. Because, you understand, some man a bit seeing and them want to come dictate and decide what you say and what you... No. Teach them don't play that. I never grow that way. You understand? Zane? And thing. Peeps, big up on yourself. Stay in. Zane, keep clean. I know when I do them because that's something I'm serious, you know. Zane, Samuel Medley, one of the viewers, became infected. I think it was his 7th day while we were doing the marathon. I haven't spoken to him since then. And thing, him said it did rough for him and thing. So hopefully him pass through Sunday. Zane. So wanna look out. Probably Baba on the something video tomorrow. If anything else will interest me, because these days I don't know if thing interest me. Me I tell you the truth. Even though you see me there, spread out the ball, man. You know what I mean? Spread out tonight, man. Zane and thing. So the situation is that sometimes they're home and whole heap of news item is abound, but sometimes they just not interest me piece, when I tell you the truth. If me not provide value for my viewers and Samuel, no man, big up yourself and your brother. I'm just a call your name, you know. It look like you're right here, so that's scratchy, you know. Everything good, sir. Or you're coming along. Zane, sometimes the topic them just not interest me. Zane, sometimes the negativity just, I don't know, drain me. You understand? Sometimes the murder thing, I just not into it. Zane and thing. Yeah, that is me. And them something still in quarantine. Alright, brother, but how you feel now though? And thing. Zane? Miss Erica Bennett. Is this Erica Bennett from Michael? Because you just say it's Everett's birthday. I know it's Everett's birthday for what. But if it's a Erica Bennett, it must be Erica Bennett from Michael days. So identify yourself, miss. Zane and thing. Zane. Jammy, big up yourself, you know. Amari Mills, big up yourself. You Zane. May I wait for Samuel to tell me how I feel, but him not tell me. You look like him and feel how him feel. Peace, big up on yourself. Enjoy the weekend as much as you can. Hey, Miss Bennett, how are you? My senior. Teach, interview Lisa Hyper. Erica, big up yourself. You answer me and say, I'm glad for the support. You hear me? Manners. Peeps, enjoy the weekend as best as you can. Wife is a nurse, so the life is even better. Don't say a word. You don't have to worry, you don't have to sing your Gregory. You got it. You understand? Go and recover, brother. I suppose I'll see you. Yeah, man. Etana, definitely, I would love to interview Etana. You understand? And thing. So, you know where something go. Enjoy on the weekend as best as you can. Zane, as me say, virgin, low the close contact thing, kissing and sex, that might have to rest. I know it's hard, but you have to try your best. You know what I think? I mean, I go in Corona time before I leave, you know, because you don't need to learn, you know. If you not got a road, boy, right now, if you get about the road code, Corona code you deal with. Be careful. Social distancing. It's important. No one I do. You understand what I say? Peace. I can't impress upon you how much. But then what? I don't have to impress upon you. I talk to you now. Let's soon come back. 2020 of the year, we just not care. You know business with nobody or have no fear. I wonder if it's true, it's a leap year. Here comes Corona, what a massive scare. Some say a man make it cause the planet, them want to wreck it. Some say a biological warfare, some say logical cause God the near. But youth, me tell you the truth. Me here says a man what drink some bat soap. From Wuhan, China to Kingston, Jamaica. You remember when them say if it reach, it can't stay here? Yo, and a joke thing, it a mash up foreign. The UK and OK, Spain is in pain. Don't forget Italy, where it a deal with bitterly. Round the world, it killed 1,000. Right now, enough country, it left frozen. Yard and abroad, run a God. You don't care who you be or who you call Lord. Some man still a take risk, like them can't get sick. Some not take no talk. All the law them are this. Some prefer go viral than them own survival. Some man a joker. It's like the devil or them idol. This thing is a wave, but it not tidal. Right now the baddest thing and it has no rival. Social media is a problem in the COVID fight. A lot of info, but nothing right. Confusion and panic are that them are insight. Enough man a turn doctor and most not bright. Please beware. Stop believe everything you hear. You remember when them say blacks can't catch that. And let's be clear, Jano, I swear, I understand the fear. But let's be calm and stay informed. Vinegar and peroxide must never collide. We are buy some things and even know what's inside. Miss Mabel, if it not have no label, it not able. Cause they might use it and become unstable. Two good shopping practices, you must abide. If you must sneeze, just step one side. Use a piece of tissue. That shouldn't be no issue. Coughing is no laughing, especially if it's often. Wash your hand for 20 seconds. under pipe or in a pan. Always use soap. This I hope. Cause this virus thing serious. But with it we can cope. Do the right thing. You hear me, Regine? No bother with the close contact thing. Kissing and sex, that might have to rest. Me know it rough, but you have to try your best. Just follow the code. Avoid the road. Stick to the rules. Don't be fools. Corona or order. Me don't even know what some man rather. But not for try off a prison. Cause them just nah listen. Don't touch your face. Me know it hard. But in any case, life too precious. And that we can't waste. Yo, get a mask. Feel up with the task. Enough full proof, but the virus it will help all off. This plus disinfectant and social distance will help us to keep up resistance. Yo, if you start feel sick, nose a run and you feel feverish, cough, sneeze and your throat start itch, do the right thing. Don't hide it. Don't hesitate or wait too late. What you gonna say when death show up at your gate? Call the authority. Death, not try off of it. Not chew your Sirona and muggle in a skirt. Make she go on. Don't try flirt. She will kick off your face and you drop a dirt. This is not a death bell. The data will tell. Majority survive and I do very well. This is a new dawn from which we will move on. Just take care of the elderly and don't forget the newborn. Stop discriminate. Don't show hate. Stop criticize. Don't stigmatize. Just remain wise. Open your eyes. And above all things, stay sanitized. Yeah. Good night, peace. Big up on yourself. Omar Mills Entertainment, Kanaika, Milo, Zane, Miss Joan Gray, Miss Donna Johnson, Peter May, DeAndre Small, team member, Dante Dan, DS Electronics Unlimited, Samuel Medley, The Oxygen, Michael May, Peter, Michael and Peter May, a brother, them, wanna make me know. You understand? I'm Diamond Clark, Wagwan Mommy, Zane, Miss Denisha Walker. Miss Denisha Walker. I wonder if Denisha married to Smaddy when he Walker and she name Walker. She name Denisha Walker. Then, me not understand. Great creation. So I deal with youth. Miss Ann Alcini, what me pronounce at Erica. Pick up yourself and Miss Bennett. Positive vibes too. Apple cider vinegar. King T. Father Samuel Medley. Go and hold it in the family. Go and speedy recovery. But you say wife I take care of you. Everything good enough. Mike Lewis. Danny Blackhorse. Danny, big up yourself, you know. You know when something go, you understand, you reach late. You reach when we are close the gate. You understand? Yeah, but Palm shot again teach. Bless up in a mile. You know what thing go teach, you need to record this. So then record it, brother. Then that's what I do. You understand? You know you to play. What you mean? Alright, brother, but do what you mean. But let's give yourself some problem. DYCR robot. Nah man, no do that something, man. DY a general man. A fire! You know what thing go. Ramo Edwards, what me pronounce that correctly, you know. Zane, me what? Blessings, you know. Zane, Peter, me, my older brother teach. Me bring him in at the front. No, say, yo, Michael, me, welcome any day. You understand? Peter, me appreciate that. You understand? Who else say? Miss Ingrid Theater, big up yourself, you know. I try big up some people. Father Dexter and Fremantle. Man, that's a respect, you know. Auntie, I look for some money, but I can't find them. Peace, I got me big up on yourself. Sunday, the interviews are normally between 12 to 3 p.m. It may be 3 p.m. based on how things go. You understand? When teach how much camera you have in this. What you mean? In the video, a 2 camera angle, man. Zane and thing. I said to interview camera them and I just set them up in the studio to me can't do no interview at all. Yeah, that's that. And thing. But as I done show on our plan recently, so we talk about that one next time. Gregory White, big up yourself and brother. You know what I think go? You see it? Peeps, look at nobody else on there. Mike Lewis, big up yourself and I'm gonna shout you out there. Here we go on. My soon on Sunday, make it a date and don't be late. Miss June Reed, good night. Don't look fit. Get book feed. All it done. Big up yourself for the family. Manners and respect, you know. You know where you go. The Sunday service between 12 to 3. Then we see. Yeah, son, big artists. You know what I mean? And think if you now watch the Admiral Tibeted, you don't need to go watch it. You understand? Father Garfield Thompson, big up yourself. See, peeps, you don't know what thing go. Walk good. Step with Jah. Yeah, talk a road. I'm out. Yo, boy, time if you behave yourself, you know. Jah know.
Teach them. Hey, yo, hello. Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here. Warlord representing.